Chapter 49:20. Boom! A terrifying sound tore through the 9 heavens. The golden lion's huge body shattered into pieces and disappeared into thin air. Was he dead? Countless people were shocked. Many of them had experienced how powerful the golden lion was before, but now, it was destroyed by Long Yun with a single strike. Other than Kunping, no one else could withstand this attack. Mad God would definitely die. Alright, the fly is dead. Let's see who can stop me now. The Dragon Prince circled around. Everyone lowered their heads. Kunpingzi stood above the 9 heavens, his eyes flickering. He didn't stop him. He wouldn't go against the Dragon Prince for an ant. Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. This was the strongest enemy he had ever encountered in his life. This was only the Imperial Prince. He didn't know how terrifying a true emperor would be. Lin Xian felt his blood boiling. He gripped the great spear of destruction tightly, his eyes shining. At this moment, another voice sounded. It's useless. You can't kill me. Lin Xian was taken aback when he heard this, and he looked ahead. The others also raised their heads in shock. It was the golden lion's voice. Was he not dead? In the void in front of them, countless rays of golden light condensed, and the phantom of the golden lion appeared again. He walked over in the air. Not dead? The Dragon Prince frowned. Kunpingzi also spoke. You should be the array spirit, right? Array spirit. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian was also surprised. He was a formation expert, so he had naturally heard of array spirits. This was extremely impressive. It was an intelligent spiritual creature formed by a formation. It was an extremely mysterious existence. He didn't expect this golden lion to be the array spirit. That's right. The golden lion raised his head and said, I'm the array spirit, so you can't kill me. Can't kill you? Dragon Prince Long, then I'll destroy this formation. Without the formation, let's see if you can survive. He was arrogant and unruly. There was nothing in the world that he couldn't do. The golden lion stopped and sat in the void. The light on his body became more and more terrifying. Although you are the Imperial Prince, this is the Heavenly Court, the Golden Lion Palace of the 12 Dao Palaces. This is not a place where you can act as you please. If you want to contend against the true Golden Lion King, wait until you become a great emperor. The Golden Lion King's voice was incomparably cold. At the same time, a magic array appeared in the surroundings. The peerless killing intent caused everyone's hair to stand on end. No one hesitated. Under this attack, no one would be able to escape. Perhaps only a few imperial princes would be able to leave alive. Of course, this was on the premise that these imperial princes had extreme weapons on them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to fight back. Lin Xian also felt his hair stand on end. He discovered that not only did the array formation light up, the golden coffin in front of him also seemed to be emitting mysterious runes. From the looks of it, he did indeed have a peerless trump card. The 2 imperial princes looked at the golden jar and felt their blood run cold. Above, Kunpingzi frowned and spoke coldly. Long Wu Gu, I advise you not to act rashly. This was the fearless Lion King of the Heavenly Court. The Dragon Prince frowned. The fearless Lion King? So it was him, the golden coffin of the 12 Dao Palaces. What, did he want to come back to life? What a joke. Even a great emperor was dead. It was impossible for him to come back to life. After saying that, he looked at the golden Lion King in front of him. A mere spirit array dares to threaten me. Remember, when I become a great emperor, it will be the death of your golden Dao Palace. As soon as this voice rang out, endless giant dragons roared in the world, forming an oath. The entire heavenly court also changed, and endless lightning fell. What happened? The people outside were shocked. Even the Lord of the Great Desolation, the Lord of the Dragon Radiance, and the others looked incomparably solemn. The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals roared, their killing intent soaring. The Golden Lion King's expression was solemn as he spoke in a deep voice. The heavenly court will never be destroyed. Even if you become a great emperor, you won't be able to destroy it. Moreover, do great emperors think so simply? Since ancient times, no imperial prince had ever become a great emperor. You won't be an exception. The ancients couldn't do it, but it doesn't mean that I can't. The dragon prince took a step forward, his body exuding an earth-shattering domineering aura. I was born to break the rules of heaven and earth. I will definitely become a great emperor. This time, even Lin Xian was shocked. What a strong belief, what a terrifying martial Dao heart. He had to admit that the dragon prince was simply an invincible existence. He had the best bloodline talent, the most cultivation resources, the strongest martial Dao heart, and the most domineering demeanor. And the highest goal. It could be said that no one was a match for him. And this was just the dragon prince. Kun Pingzi had awakened earlier than Long Huangzi, and his current cultivation level was higher. How far had he reached? Lin Xian felt immense pressure, but he wasn't afraid at all. He knew that there weren't many great emperors in history, but each great emperor had a different experience. Some were chosen by the heavens, sweeping through the world and becoming the eldest brother. However, there were also those who rose from the dust and stood above the 9 heavens. If the previous great emperors could do it, he was confident that he could do it too. At this moment, his eyes bloomed with an extremely terrifying confidence. That was the heart of invincibility. Boom! Boom! Lightning struck between heaven and earth once again. Above the 9 heavens, the wind and clouds swirled. At this moment, everyone felt a tremor in their souls again. It was as if a supreme god was looking down on them. The dragon prince suddenly turned his head and stared at Lin Xian. I didn't expect an ant like you to have an invincible martial Dao heart. Kun Pingzi also looked over and nodded for the first time. Interesting person. However, just having an invincible martial Dao heart isn't enough. There aren't many people in this world who can compete with us. His eyes were filled with coldness. It was a coldness that looked down on the world. At their level, they were indeed qualified to look down on the world. Lin Xian smiled. How would you know if you don't try? My goal is also to become a great emperor. To become a great emperor. The surrounding people were shocked. This was their goal since they were born and knew about martial Dao. However, it was just a thought. When they really stepped on the path of martial Dao, they would give up on this thought. Because the further they went, the more they knew that it was impossible to become a great emperor. Especially now that they were peak sages, and some had even become great sages. However, they were already in despair. They knew that their cultivation speed would become slower and slower. The bloodline talent was like a cage that locked them tightly, making it impossible for them to enter the great emperor realm for the rest of their lives. In fact, in the hearts of these top geniuses, becoming a peak great sage was already a dream. However, this mad god dared to say that he wanted to become a great emperor. Was he naive or did he really have such confidence? Kun Pingzi shook his head. He felt that mad god was too naive. The dragon prince sneered. Stupid. You don't know your place. Kid, I won't kill you now. However, when you walk out of here, let's see who can stop me. Chapter 49-21. After saying that, the dragon prince ignored Lin Xian and looked at the golden coffin in front of him. Golden Lion King, I want to experience it. He walked forward. At the same time, Kunpingzi also moved in the sky. Everyone exclaimed. Could it be that the two princes didn't come here for the fearless lion's seal but for the golden coffin? Lin Xian also frowned, but he didn't care. He was indeed different from the princes. The path to take was also different. So, he didn't need to care about what the other party was doing. His current target was the 9th stone statue. He had already broken through the 9th one. He would be able to obtain the fearless lion's seal. From what the Golden Lion Formation Spirit said, the Golden Lion King was also a supreme existence that swept through the 9 heavens. Perhaps only a true great emperor could suppress it. Then, the other party's ultimate technique was definitely terrifying. It should be comparable to a great emperor's ultimate technique. He had to master it. The 9th statue had 9 heads. Its power was even more terrifying than all the previous 8 statues combined. Lin Xian also felt a huge pressure. Under this terrifying roar, Lin Xian's body even cracked, and blood dripped down. He roared, and demonic energy surged into the sky, covering him and the 9th statue. Because he had some methods that he didn't want others to see. The crowd couldn't see it. They could only see demonic energy surging into the sky and earth-shattering sounds. Obviously, Mad God was crazily attacking. On the other side, what shocked them even more was the 2 princes. One of them was flying in the sky, while the other was walking on the ground. Both of them charged toward the golden coffin. This time, the golden lion formation spirit didn't activate the peerless formation and allowed the 2 princes to charge over. Was he going to give up? Or was he absolutely confident in the golden coffin? The golden coffin had been there for tens of thousands of years, but there was no dust on it at all. Instead, it flickered with a mysterious light. Sensing the bloodline aura of the 2 princes, a terrifying fluctuation erupted, as if something was about to be resurrected inside. The surrounding people felt their bodies split open. Not good, retreat quickly. They were terrified and didn't dare to stay here anymore. A few of them still wanted to hold on, but their bodies shattered and turned into a bloody mist. The souls fled with the bloody mist in the sky, roaring in fear. Everyone had retreated. Other than the 2 princes, only the golden lion array spirit and Lin Xian, who was still crazily attacking the statue, were left. Lin Xian also sensed the earth-shattering sounds of battle ahead, as well as a terrifying aura. However, he ignored it. He unleashed all sorts of methods to contend against it. His powerful physique, terrifying God's Eye, and Dragon's Soul Sword Chi were all unleashed. After a fierce battle, he finally succeeded in suppressing and breaking through the 9th statue. The next moment, he felt a wave of information coming from the statue, surging into his glabella. Lin Xian's body trembled as an extremely sharp light appeared in his eyes. He had obtained the complete mark of the fearless lion. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He left behind an avatar and sat down cross-legged. As for his main body, it had entered the sword world. Lin Xian wanted to comprehend it quickly. He knew that there was a huge threat waiting for him, and that was the Dragon Prince. The other party had already set his eyes on him. He would definitely fight with him. Although he was not afraid, he still learned the mark of the fearless lion. His chances of winning were higher. After entering, Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the Four-Spirit Valley. He felt a powerful and mysterious aura and began to cultivate the mark of the fearless lion. He entered a state of selflessness. Outside, Xiao Zhuang, Peng Wanli, Zhu Long, and the others had gathered. The others also retreated. They were at the back. There was nothing they could do. The scene ahead was too terrifying. What happened? Those who had not gone before were puzzled. Those who came later told them what had happened before. Everyone was shocked. The 2 princes were just incarnations, but they were already so terrifying. Moreover, there was a mysterious golden coffin in front of them. There was also the legendary peerless divine ability, the mark of the fearless lion. One piece of news after another shocked them. Their eyes were red with envy. But soon they sighed. So many top-notch experts had failed the test. Only Mad God was left inside. And did he succeed? They didn't know either. Some people from the Dragon Palace sighed. Why didn't the Dragon Prince fight for the mark of the fearless lion? Humph, if the Dragon Prince wanted to fight for it, that Mad God had no chance at all. The people from the 10,000 Dragons dynasty shook their heads. They had underestimated the Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince cultivated the Dragon Emperor scripture. There were many ultimate divine abilities in there, and they were all the arch-divine abilities. No matter how strong the mark of the fearless lion was, could it compare to the arch-divine ability? As soon as these words came out, everyone understood. So that was the case. It seemed that the 2 disciples had come for the golden coffin. No one knew what was inside the golden coffin. They began to wait patiently. However, 3 months passed. No one had returned yet. Everyone was shocked. Had they died? However, that terrifying aura was still sweeping out. No one dared to go forward. They continued to wait. Half a year had passed. Many people were in despair. Some of them even prepared to leave and go to other places. There were also people looking around to see if there were any other weapon fragments that could be used to comprehend the Great Tao. However, the outside world was also terrifying. The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were all puppets formed by the powerhouses of the heavenly court. It was abnormally terrifying. They had never stopped attacking. Therefore, some people returned to the Tao Palace and began to cultivate here. In the blink of an eye, another year had passed. Everyone was in despair. If it wasn't for the terrifying aura in front, they would have thought that the clones of the two princes had died. However, someone said, "It's been more than a year, but Mad God still hasn't come out. I think he must have died." That was for sure. The two princes had attacked the peerless powerhouses of the heavenly court. It was understandable that it had taken a long time. Mad God had probably already been defeated and killed by the crown prince. Was he dead? Qinghong, Zihong, Yanling, and the others frowned. Shulong, Zilong, and the others sneered. It was good that he was dead. They could take revenge if he was dead. When the second year passed, everyone thought that Mad God wouldn't return alive. After all, if he had obtained the mark of the fearless lion, he would have returned long ago. Mad God couldn't have withstood such a terrifying aura. If he hadn't returned, it meant that he had died. After 2.5 years, the terrifying aura in front finally disappeared. Then 2 figures flew back. The light on their bodies had dimmed. After 2.5 years of fighting, the 2 clones still hadn't opened the golden coffin. Instead, they were injured. If it wasn't for the supreme Tao aura surrounding them, the 2 clones would have died here. Chapter 49:22. Look, the 2 princes have returned. Countless people exclaimed. They saw 2 godlike figures flying back. How is the prince? The people from the Thousand Dragon Court and the Sky Sect walked up and asked nervously. The 2 princes frowned. It seemed that just using their incarnations was not enough. If their original bodies were here, they could open it and take a look. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The person buried in front was actually so terrifying? However, some people knew that the fearless Lion King was in existence that dared to challenge the great emperor. Even if such a person had fallen for countless tens of thousands of years, he would still have enough trump cards to deal with all changes. The people from the Thousand Dragon Court said, "Dragon Emperor, let's leave and help Dragon Illumination Master and the others outside." The great battle outside was still erupting. Those heavenly soldiers seemed to be immortal and indestructible, giving people a headache. However, Long Huangzi stood there with his hands behind his back. The corners of his mouth curled up. "No, I'm waiting for that Mad God. I want to see where he gets the qualifications to challenge me. I'm waiting for Mad God." The surrounding people were stunned. Zilong said, "Could it be that he's not dead yet?" "Impossible." Shulong also shook his head. "He must have already fallen inside." The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. "He's not dead yet. I see that the demonic energy is monstrous. He's sitting cross-legged in front of the 9th statue. It seems like he wants to comprehend the fearless lion's seal." "What? Did that guy really get it?" The surrounding people were shocked. Some people's eyes instantly turned red as they gritted their teeth. Damn it! Zilong, Shulong, and the others were also jealous. However, the Dragon Prince sneered. "It doesn't matter. Wait for me to kill him with one palm and collect his soul. The fearless lion's seal can be given to you to cultivate." "Really? Great, thank you, Prince." They were extremely happy. However, Qinghong, Zihong, Xiaozhuang, and the others frowned. It seemed that Mad God was very dangerous. With the Dragon Prince's words, no one was in a hurry to leave because they wanted to see what would happen next. After another half a year, which was the 3rd year, Lin Xian finally stopped in the sword world. The corner of his mouth raised into a smile. He formed a seal with his palm and pushed it forward. A golden light bloomed, turning into a fearless lion that charged forward. How terrifying! When the 4 spiritual beasts felt this aura, they were also astonished. What kind of ultimate technique was this? It was even more powerful than the man-ruler seal and the mountain-embracing seal. Lin Xian was overjoyed. Great, as expected of an ultimate technique comparable to a Thearcha's theurgy. That being said, although the ultimate art was powerful, it was also difficult to cultivate. He had spent 3 years comprehending it, and with the help of the great dragon sword spirit, he had only barely grasped it. However, he did not continue cultivating, because he didn't know what the situation outside was like. From the looks of it, if he had the chance in the future, he would continue to cultivate and increase the strength of the seal of the fearless lion through actual combat. Now he had to leave quickly. Although there is the threat of the Dragon Prince outside, Lin Xian is confident that it was just the power of 9 Yang divine body and fearless lion seal. Next, he fused the power of the great dragon sword soul into the seal of the fearless lion. The fearless lion raised its head to the sky and roared as if it had come alive. The power of the strike it unleashed was several times stronger than before. Even the 4 spirit beasts were shocked, and they jumped in fright. Damn, I thought that the Golden Lion King had revived. The effect was not bad. Lin Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. He had only cultivated for 3 years. In the future, the seal of the fearless lion would become stronger and stronger. With a sway of his body, he walked out of the sword world. With a wave of his hand, his clone disappeared, and the demonic energy that filled the sky also dissipated. Lin Xian looked ahead and frowned slightly. The terrifying aura was still there. However, the 2 princes had already disappeared. He didn't know if they had succeeded or not. He, too, walked towards the golden coffin in front of him. When he approached, he felt a huge pressure. This power was much more terrifying than the 9 statues from before. Seeing someone walking forward, the golden lion array spirit appeared again. Lin Xian stopped and asked, "Senior, how was the battle situation? Those 2 princes didn't succeed, right?" The golden lion array spirit shook its head. The 2 incarnations did not have that much energy. They did not succeed and had already left half a year ago. However, I can feel that they did not leave the Dao Palace. They seemed to be waiting for you. As expected. Lin Xian snorted. It seemed that the Dragon Prince did not plan to let him go. However, he would let the other party experience the seal of the fearless lion that he had just cultivated. What do you plan to do? Leave now? Let me give you a suggestion. You can continue to cultivate here. 10 years later, your seal of the fearless lion should be completed, and they should be able to leave. It was not a wise choice to fight with the princes now. Thank you for your kind intentions, Senior. 10 years is too long, I can't afford to wait. Senior also said that he was just an incarnation and didn't have that much energy. Indeed, if the other party's main body came, Lin Xian would probably have to cultivate for 10 years. However, Lin Xian felt that an incarnation was enough. Furthermore, his trump card was not something that the Dragon Prince could imagine. All right. Chapter 49-23. So that was the case. The Golden Lion was shocked. It seems like your trump card isn't much weaker than the Dragon Prince's incarnation. This time, Lin Xian's life shouldn't be in danger, but he still said, "But this incarnation is much stronger." His true body was more than 10 times stronger than his incarnation. Not only did he possess an imperial scripture, but he could also use an extreme weapon. I understand. Thank you, Senior, for your reminder. But I still have trump cards. Lin Xian smiled. No matter what, I should be a member of the Heavenly Court, right? Of course. Black Mountain said. You are from the Heavenly Court. Kid, go out later. Work with me. I need the strength of those people to open a bunch of Heavenly Court foundations that have been sealed for a long time. What is it? Lin Xian was shocked. Was it related to the golden coffin? Black Mountain shook his head. No, It is a bunch of ancient people who have been sleeping. You can think of them as the master of the desolate wilderness, Feng Shaoqing, etc. When he heard that, Lin Xian was shocked too. Reviving people from tens of thousands of years ago was something the Purple Palace could do. The Heavenly Court actually had it too. However, he quickly understood. The Purple Palace and Heavenly Court were enemies, and their trump cards weren't much different. Otherwise, one side would have been wiped out long ago. Since the Purple Palace had ancient experts, the Heavenly Court definitely had some too. However, it seemed like it wouldn't be easy to revive them. Black Mountain said, "I need really strong power to activate the formation for me to wake them up." I understood. Lin Xian and Black Mountain talked for a long time. After Lin Xian grasped the entire plan, he left. He knew what to do next. "Okay, then I will go." His body shook and Lin Xian flew out. I followed too. The Golden Lion King ran over. Lin Xian didn't stop him. After all, who knew whether or not the Dragon Prince would use the entire 10,000 Dragon Dynasty to attack him? Moreover, there was Kuan Pingzi at the side. The people outside were getting impatient. 3 years had passed and that fellow still hadn't come out. Was he going to continue comprehending? If he didn't come out for 10 years, or even 100 years, they were going to wait here. The Dragon Prince's face was also cold. He said that if he didn't come out in a month, they would leave. Go outside to assist Draconic Lord and the rest. Good. The 10,000 Dragons Dynasty's people nodded, and everyone else deeply breathed in. There was still 1 month left. However, after only 6 days, they raised their heads. 2 forces were flying towards him at high speed. Who were they? Was it Mad God? Then who was the other one? Here it comes. The Dragon Prince's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Not only was he powerful, but his soul was also powerful. He was far stronger than the people around him. Therefore, before anyone could react, he saw Mad God shrouded in devilish shadows. The other was the Array Spirit. Did the two of them come together? Was she afraid that he would go back on his word? He snorted disdainfully. The others soon discovered that 2 figures had appeared in front of them. It was none other than Mad God. They cried out in surprise. This was too inconceivable. He had already obtained the lion's seal. One after another voice rang out. You actually dared to come out. I have to say that your courage is commendable. I thought you would hide in there for 100 years. Dragon Prince's clone sneered. 100 years? 3 years is enough. Lin Xian walked out and said, Come, let's see how you're going to suppress me. Beside him, the Golden Lion Array Spirit walked out and said, As the Imperial Prince, you have to keep your word. You won't go back on your word now, right? As expected, it was because of this. Dragon Prince sneered. Humph, why are you helping me after I cultivate the lion's seal? But it didn't matter. 1 move was enough to kill him. He didn't want to use a second move. Kid, are you ready? Take out your strongest technique. Otherwise, you won't have a chance in the future. Dragon Prince's clone walked out, emitting a monstrous aura. The surrounding people retreated. The people of the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty and the Dragon Palace sneered. Going against the Imperial Prince was a dead end. The others were extremely worried. My husband should be fine, right? Xueqi was extremely nervous. Yu Wudao also rushed over. He knew that Mad God was Lin Xian, so he clenched his fists nervously. Compete with the Imperial Prince? To be honest, she was looking forward to it. Gu Feng, Peng Wanli, and the others were all watching intently. At the front, Lin Xian walked out without a trace of nervousness. He said, I've never fought with the Imperial Prince before. Today, let me see how powerful the legendary Imperial Prince is. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm. Endless golden light condensed in his palm. It turned into the phantom of a lion and was pushed out by him. A roar shook heaven and earth, carrying with it an indomitable and fearless aura. This is? The surrounding people were shocked and cried out in surprise. Fearless lion! That's the lion's seal. Heavens, in just 3 years, he had already learned this kind of ultimate skill? Damn it, what kind of talent is that? Xulong, Zilong, and the others went crazy. It was as if they were dreaming. Xueqi heaved a sigh of relief. Yu Wudao, Gu Feng, and the others were also shocked. Even they couldn't master such a technique in 3 years. Even Kunpeng Zi was surprised. What high talent! The surrounding people were in an uproar again. What kind of glory was it to be recognized by the Imperial Prince? You have some strength. There aren't many people below the Imperial Prince who are more talented than you. The Dragon Prince nodded slightly. However, it's a pity that you met me. I won't give you a chance. Dragon Cloud Hand. His entire arm seemed to have turned into a true dragon, with clouds and mist lingering around his arm. When he struck out with his palm, it was as if a true dragon had poked its head out of the clouds and roared at the sky. It fought with the golden fearless lion. Roar! Roar! In an instant, the sky fell and the earth cracked. A violent storm swept out in all directions. Not good, retreat! The surrounding people quickly retreated, leaving only one figure standing in the same place. That was Kunpeng Zi. The black and white chi on Kunpeng Zi's body formed a set of armor, blocking all the power. It's still not enough. He looked at the scene in front of him and said indifferently. The dragon Cloud Hand turned into a true dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, and pressed down on the golden fearless lion. He pressed the fearless lion to the ground, making it unable to resist. Seeing this, the people in the distance cried out in surprise. The difference was too great. However, the fact that the man could fight the Imperial Prince to this extent was enough to be proud. Zilong sneered. What's the use? From now on, he'll cease to exist. So this is the Imperial Prince? A mere clone could use such a terrifying technique. Gu Feng and Yu Wudao's eyes shone brightly. They were analyzing how they would deal with this attack if it were them. There was one more person, and that was Yao Guang. Yao Guang snorted coldly, his eyes shining with a cold light. If the madman died, he would definitely devour his corpse. Chapter 49-24. Did you see that? Kid, this is the difference between us. The Cloud Dragon hand pressed down on the fearless lion. The Dragon Prince laughed coldly. He used a little force and the other party was about to collapse. Sigh. Who could understand the feeling of being invincible? All right, kid, it's over. The Dragon Prince's eyes were filled with killing intent. The other party was indeed very strong and was a threat. If he was allowed to grow, he would be a problem in the future. If he didn't appear in the future, the Dragon Palace and the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would suffer heavy losses. Hence, he couldn't allow such a person to live. The Golden Lion's light became dimmer and dimmer. The Cloud Dragon hand not only wanted to kill the fearless lion, but it also wanted to kill Lin Xian. The true dragon raised its head and roared. It stared at Lin Xian and was about to charge over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Do you think I only have this much strength? It was just a warm-up. Now I'll let you see the true fearless lion. Lin Xian didn't take out his true trump card. Now, he was going to activate the power of the great dragon sword soul. Stupid thing, don't you see the truth? The difference between us isn't something you can cross. The Dragon Prince was angry. He waved his hand and the golden lion in front of him shattered. The Cloud Dragon hand charged over and shattered the void. In an instant, it arrived in front of Lin Xian and enveloped him. The giant dragon roared, wanting to tear Lin Xian into pieces. Not good. Xueqi was nervous. Zilong and the others laughed coldly. Everything was over. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He instantly formed a seal and the power of the great dragon sword soul surged into the fearless lion's seal. Instantly, an earth-shattering roar sounded. This roar was several times stronger than before. A lion flew out from his fingertips and pounced at the true dragon. Boom! This attack was really too terrifying. Everyone was stunned. They seemed to have seen a fearless lion that crossed the ancient time and space. Was the true god beast revived? Why was it so lifelike? The golden lion array spirit beside him also trembled and stood up abruptly. He was in disbelief. Why do I feel the aura of a soul? How did he do it? His face was full of surprise. To be able to use the fearless lion to this extent in just 3 years, it was too inconceivable. On the other side, Kun Pingzi's eyes were also emitting black and white light. What was with this aura? His strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. Was this the kid's trump card? The seal of the lion pounced over and fought with the true dragon, suppressing it. The dragon prince was stunned as well. But soon, he came back to his senses. His face darkened. Had he underestimated his opponent? Boom! In the end, the true dragon was torn in half. The fearless lion roared towards the sky and charged towards the dragon prince. The dragon prince's face was cold. Get lost. With a roar, 10,000 dragons gathered behind him, forming a dragon diagram that directly suppressed the fearless lion. With a boom, it dissipated between heaven and earth. The dragon prince took a step forward and was about to attack again. The golden lion snorted. Stop! One move has already passed. As the emperor's son, are you going to go back on your word? 1. The dragon prince's hand stopped in midair. The terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons was retracted. His expression flickered, then he sneered. What a fearless lion seal. I didn't expect you to have a trump card that exceeded my imagination. All right, as the emperor's son, I have to do what I say. So, 1 move it is. You're very lucky today. I won't attack again and you can live for a while longer. But the next time I meet you, you won't be so lucky. The dragon prince retracted his palm and shouted coldly. Lucky? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The other party was really stubborn. He said that the next time they met, his strength would be 10 times stronger than now. At that time, it was not certain who would lose. The surrounding people were stunned. What did this guy do? He actually blocked the dragon prince's attack. One had to know that although the dragon cloud dragon hand was just one attack from the incarnation, it wasn't something that they could block. But Mad God actually blocked it. Could it be that Mad God was already above them? Could he compete with the Emperor's son? Thinking of this possibility, their scalps went numb. Xueqi smiled. As expected of her husband, he had so many trump cards. Yu Wadao and Gu Feng looked solemn. Although they had only exchanged 1 move, they could already feel the strength of the Emperor's son. This was just one incarnation. Were they going to compete with such a person in the future? Thinking about it made them feel despair. Damn it, how was this possible? Zilong ran frantically. The dragon prince was a god in his eyes, but he couldn't kill him with 1 move. Zhulong also said that the dragon prince must have been careless. Otherwise, how could he not kill him? Yes, no matter how strong Mad God was, how could he be a match for the dragon prince? As soon as the dragon prince's true body appeared, he could kill him with 1 look. The people of the dragon race roared crazily, trying to regain their confidence. The dragon prince said indifferently, All right, let's go. Although the other party could block one of his moves, that was all. The other party was not a match for him. With the dragon prince's order, the people of the 1,000 Dragon Court followed. The people of the Dragon Palace also took a deep breath and quickly followed. They had other things to do, which was to help the Dragon Sovereign and the others. Let's go. Kunpingzi also left with the people of the Heaven Sect. But before he left, he took a deep look at Lin Xian. Mad God, huh? If he didn't fall and continued to grow at this speed, he might become an opponent in the future Emperor's path. That included the fact that the other party could never win and was just a stepping stone. The others felt their scalps go numb. They couldn't imagine that Mad God was the strongest person under the Emperor's sun. This was equivalent to a mountain pressing down on them, making it difficult for them to turn the tables. In the future, he would be their strongest opponent. That's great, you're not hurt, right? Xueqi flew over and asked with concern. Lin Xian shook his head. Qinghong, Zihong, and the others also flew over. They exclaimed, "You did it! You really did it! How did you do it?" They found it hard to believe. "I did it because the Dragon Prince isn't invincible, but he's not invincible." Although Lin Xian made it sound simple, these people knew that other than Lin Xian, no one else could do it. Seeing that these people were still in shock, Lin Xian smiled. "Let's go and help the divine generals." "All right." These people nodded, and the group walked into the distance. The golden lion array spirit looked at Lin Xian's departing figure and revealed a smile. The fearless lion could be carried forward. He turned and continued to guard the golden Dao palace. "Everyone left? Then I'll start preparing." In front of the golden coffin, Black Mountain's figure turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared. His plan was about to begin. Chapter 49-25. The battle outside was still raging. It had been 3 years, and those experts were not tired at all. They were much stronger than Lin Xian and the others. However, such unparalleled experts and super mighty figures were in the minority after all. However, there were many young geniuses like Zilong. Therefore, when these people joined forces and used various trump cards, they were able to fight back. In addition to the clones of the Dragon Prince and Kunping Zi, both of them carried an extreme power. That was the power of an extreme weapon, and it was extremely terrifying when they attacked. In an instant, many heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were pushed back. Their bodies swayed, and the nomological laws on them dimmed. "It's great that you're back." The experts were also happy to see their disciples return and heaved a sigh of relief. The divine generals all asked, "How was it?" Qing Hong, Xiao Zhuang, and the others told them, and the 4 great divine generals gasped. Inside was the legendary Taoist palace of the fearless Lion King, and it even had the cultivation method of the fearless lion's seal. It was really unbelievable. However, what was surprising was that it seemed that only Lin Xian was cultivating it. Divine General Hai Yuan and Kunping Zi smiled. Great, Lin Xian was on their side. Lin Xian's strength made them feel gratified. Divine General Qian Chen's face darkened, and he said coldly, "Kid, if we didn't hold them back, how could you have entered? Teach me the cultivation method of the fearless lion's seal." Lin Xian glanced at him and smiled. "You want to learn? You want to go to the Dao Palace? You!" Divine General Qianchen was so angry that he vomited blood. "Are you going to be ungrateful?" Lin Xian said. "Don't judge me with your despicable heart." He ignored him and looked at Divine General Hai Yuan and Divine General Yunge. With a wave of his hand, he took out 6 weapon fragments. These were all given to him by the array spirit. He said, "Seniors, I can't teach you the fearless lion's seal, but I'm naturally grateful that you brought me here." These 6 weapon fragments contained the Heavenly Court's great Tao. If you can comprehend it and engrave it on your weapon, it can make your sacred weapon even more terrifying. The eyes of Divine General Haiyuan and Divine General Haiyuan lit up when they saw the 6 weapon fragments. The Tao of the ancient Heavenly Court was incomparably profound. If they could comprehend even a little bit, it would be a great improvement. Moreover, there were 6 of them here. If they split it between 2 people, each person could get 3. That's pretty good. Therefore, they put it away and said with a smile, "Then we won't stand on ceremony." Lin Xian only gave them to Divine General Haiyuan and Divine General Yun. As for the other 2, he didn't give them to them. He was not brought in by the 2 immortal generals. The Divine General Wind Snow gritted his teeth in anger, but he didn't say anything. Indeed, everyone belonged to different factions. If he wanted something, he would have to get it from Xiao Zhuang and the others. Little Zhuang and the others also took out a piece each, making the Divine General of Wind Snow smile. Divine General Qianchen also received one, but he received the least. Only the Flying Corpse King gave it to him. Torch Dragon had long followed the Dragon Prince. This made him extremely depressed, but he didn't dare to say anything. With the Dragon Prince here, let's see if Mad God dares to be arrogant. He snorted coldly and also flew toward the Dragon Prince. He didn't know that Lin Xian had already blocked the dragon cloud hand. If he knew, what kind of expression would he have? In front, the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals didn't attack again. The armored giant also stood there like a mountain. They watched covetously. On the other side, Kunping-zi and the Dragon Prince were also in a confrontation. The auras of the two sides kept clashing. Another battle could break out at any time. Lin Xian was also in the crowd, his eyes flashing. He naturally knew that Black Mountain's plan should have begun. As expected, the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals had begun to retreat under Black Mountain's control. Chase. The Dragon Prince snorted coldly and led a group of people to attack. On the other side, Kunping-zi also rose into the air. The two of them chased after the enemy. They must search the heavenly court and find the supreme treasure. Both of them were imperial princes, so they had much more information than the others. They naturally knew that the ancient heavenly court was an extremely powerful existence. There had been more than one great emperor here. There must be a great emperor's ancient scripture left behind. If they could obtain it, then they would definitely become a true great emperor and break through the limits and restrictions of their bloodlines. This was also one of the reasons why they came this time. Why didn't they send their true bodies? They naturally had their own considerations. Since there might be a great emperor's ancient scripture here, then there might be a great emperor's killing formation. No matter how strong they were still too young. If they encountered a complete great emperor's killing formation, it would be very dangerous. Even if they carried extreme weapons, it was very likely that they would be injured and escape. Therefore, in order to maintain their peak condition, they sent out their clones. Their clones were here to scout. As long as they found news about the great emperor's ancient scripture, they would use the power of the emperor clans. They would attack the heavenly court at all costs. The 10,000 dragons court and the heavenly sex morale were soaring. With the two imperial princes leading the way, they chased after the enemy. The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals didn't dare to resist at all. One after another, congratulatory voices sounded. As expected of the Dragon Prince. Just show your divine might, and those heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were defeated. If you make a move, nothing can stop you. The Dragon Prince laughed and sped up. The group charged into the depths of the heavenly court. However, they discovered that other than the southern heavenly gate and the first Dao Palace, the 33rd heaven in the distance was indeed an illusion. No matter how they set off, the illusion would always appear in front of them. Another Dao Palace appeared in front of them. It was golden and dazzling. The heavenly soldiers, heavenly generals, and the armored giants all entered. Seeing this scene, the Dragon Prince and the others roared angrily and rushed in. It was another Dao Palace. Perhaps there was also a golden coffin inside. Even Lin Xian and the others were surprised. This time, the heavenly generals, peerless masters, and super mighty figures were all very careful. However, they discovered that there was an extremely strong seal on it this time. They couldn't open it at all. It seemed that they had to work together to break it. However, some people were puzzled. Why did this Dao Palace feel different from the first one? At this moment, Lin Xian received a voice transmission from Black Mountain. While everyone was discussing, Lin Xian walked out. There were 12 Dao Palaces, and each one was different. Was there a need to explain? If they were all the same, why were there 12? This one's aura was obviously more terrifying. If you're afraid of death, get lost. I want to go in. If I can learn another peerless theurgy, so what if you're an imperial prince? I still dare to fight. Now, everyone knew that Mad God had obtained the fearless lion's seal. That was a peerless technique comparable to a theurgy. In addition, the other party's arrogant words made everyone's eyes turn red. Yes, there was no doubt. Obviously, the peerless technique inside was even more terrifying than the first one. We must get it. This time, even the experts of the older generation went crazy. Chapter 49-26. Lin Xian sneered. This was the effect he wanted. If these people were suspicious, they would investigate more strictly. This would be dangerous because there was a huge illusion array in front of them. There were no treasures inside. Inside was a place where a portion of the heavenly court's foundation was sleeping. Black Mountain needed these people to open the seal to let those people in. These people had been awake and investigating, so they should be able to find a flaw. At that time, they should not make a move. Therefore, they needed Lin Xian to stand out and be arrogant. The surrounding people were already about to make a move, but the two princes frowned. They had many trump cards. The two of them felt a trace of doubt and felt that something was wrong, so they suppressed the crowd. They did not let the crowd make a move immediately. Lin Xian cursed. As expected of the imperial prince. He had grasped the imperial sutra. It was really easy to fool him. It seemed that he could only continue to be arrogant. He stood out and shouted coldly. Why? Don't you dare to make a move? A bunch of trash. Scram. I can already block the Imperial Prince's attack after obtaining the Fearless Lion's seal. If I obtain another peerless technique, I can suppress the Imperial Prince. If you don't dare, I'll do it. As soon as these words were said, the surrounding people went crazy. Not everyone knew about this. After all, it was embarrassing that the Dragon Prince couldn't kill the other party in one move. The Thousand Dragon Dynasty naturally wouldn't say it. The others didn't dare to say it even if they wanted to. If they said such a thing in front of Long Huangzi and offended the Dragon Prince, they would be slapped to death. It might even implicate their entire family and sect. Therefore, those people kept their mouths shut. Now that the peerless powerhouses outside heard this, their eyes almost popped out. Was that really the case? They asked one after another. The surrounding young disciples' expressions became incomparably strange. No one dared to say anything. However, no one explained. Those super mighty figures were smart and instantly understood. It seemed that it was true. Inside, the Dragon Prince and Mad God had already fought. In fact, they couldn't even kill Mad God. And all of this was not because Mad God was strong, but because the Fearless Lion's seal was strong. These people's eyes turned red. Let's do it. Even the Dragon Reflection Master's eyes were burning. Although he was an expert of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, he didn't have the right to cultivate an imperial scripture. If he could obtain an exceptional divine ability that was comparable to an imperial scripture, his strength and status would improve even further. Not only him, but the eyes of the Master of the Great Desolation, the 9 Underworld's Demon Emperor, and the other super mighty figures were also red. This time, the two princes also frowned. It seemed that they could not suppress these older generation experts. Especially when the Dragon Prince turned his head, his eyes bursting with terrifying murderous intent. He turned into 2 bolts of lightning and attacked Lin Xian. Boom! Lin Xian once again unleashed the seal of the Fearless Lion. The power of the great dragon sword spirit gushed out, as if it had transformed into a real fearless lion. He blocked the Dragon Prince's sight. This time, everyone saw it with their own eyes. They were all crazy. Attack! The Lord of the Great Desolation roared. Everyone attacked ferociously because the Mad God could really block the attacks of the Crown Prince. They had to break the seal. The Dragon Prince frowned, his killing intent biting cold. He wanted to kill Lin Xian, but he found that the other party had escaped. Humph, ants will always be ants. The Dragon Prince turned around and continued to attack the Dao Palace in front of him. Lin Xian was not escaping, because he felt that it was about time. He would not attack the Dao Palace in front of him. He had to be vigilant at all times and contact Black Mountain. Kid, you're doing well? At this moment, Black Mountain walked over and smiled. Lin Xian was shocked. You dare to come out? Black Mountain said, so what? There are so many people here. They won't be able to tell if I pretend to be one. The two of them communicated telepathically. Black Mountain was very satisfied with Lin Xian's performance. The people in front of him were attacking with all their might, but their powers were all absorbed by the formation. Black Mountain smiled. He said, I have to move forward. When the formation is opened, I have to wake up those who are in a deep sleep. Lin Xian said. What else do you need me to do? Black Mountain said. It's fine. This is enough. Lin Xian said telepathically. Why do I feel that the two princes are searching for something? Also, how many mystic arts do the heavenly court have? Is there a great emperor's ancient scripture? If you have an ancient scripture, give me a copy. To be honest, it was impossible not to envy the great emperor's ancient scripture. After all, it was a mystic art created by the great emperor. It was the most powerful mystic art in the world. Lin Xian did not have one. Whether it was the human king's seal, the mountain-embracing seal, the nine-yang divine body, or the fearless lion's seal, they were all top-notch mystic arts. However, compared to the emperor's ancient scripture, they were still a little inferior. Therefore, Lin Xian also hoped to obtain a copy of the great emperor's ancient scripture. However, these ancient scriptures were usually in the hands of the emperor clan. Even in the emperor clan, only a few people could cultivate it. It was even possible that only one person could cultivate it. Others wanted to obtain it. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Not to mention the people from other clans. Other than the emperor clan, Lin Xian had only seen one person who knew the great emperor's ancient scripture. That was Yan Nantian. Back then, Yan Nantian and he were locked in a fierce battle. He had used all his trump cards and spent a lot of effort to kill him. One had to know that back then, he had used the nine-yang divine body, the great dragon sword spirit, and many other mystic arts to kill a great emperor's successor. That was because the other party had not grown up and many of the great emperor's mystic arts could not be used. If the other party had grown up to this point, it would have been 100 times more difficult for Lin Xian to kill a great emperor's successor. Black Mountain said, The heavenly court does have an emperor's scripture. However, that kind of thing is too rare. It requires a great opportunity. I don't even have it. Don't worry, if I really find it, I will consider giving it to you. After saying that, Black Mountain turned into green smoke and floated forward. Lin Xian sighed. However, he quickly adjusted his mentality. So what if he didn't have an emperor's scripture? He had the great dragon sword spirit. He was also incomparably powerful. The people in front attacked crazily. 3 months later, cracks began to appear on the formation. Great, these people had swallowed countless pills and absorbed a lot of energy in the past 3 months to be able to fight so desperately. At this moment, seeing cracks appear on the seal, they were so excited that they were about to cry. This time, even the Dragon Prince and the King of Kunping made a move. They attacked with their extreme strength. Another 3 days of attack. 3 days later, the seal was finally covered with cracks. Then, with a crack, it shattered. Great, the seal has been broken. Charge! These people rushed in. Lin Xian also walked in from afar. He had been standing at the edge, ready to respond at any time. This is? After entering, the people inside were stunned. Even Lin Xian was stunned. He saw hundreds of figures in front of him. Those people were frozen in the divine crystal and had fallen into a deep sleep. Their auras were very weak. If Lin Xian did not use the heavenly secret divine eyes, he would not be able to sense that these people were still alive. Chapter 49-27. What was that? The people around were stunned. The Zifu's pupils constricted. The Dragon Prince and Kunpeng Zi's expressions changed. Don't act rashly and don't touch the god crystals. The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. Kunpeng Zi also said that they were still alive and sleeping. This was the foundation of the heavenly court. Hearing the two princes' words, the people around were in an uproar. The foundation of the heavenly court was actually here. These people must have grasped countless absolute skills. If he could collect their souls, he would be able to do it. If they could collect the souls, those techniques and secrets would be theirs. Everyone's eyes were red as they looked at the sleeping people and the god crystals. However, no one dared to act rashly. The Grand Prince had already spoken. Moreover, they knew that if they were careless, they might wake up these people. At that time, they would be in trouble. The elder from the Zifu walked out and said, Two princes, we can't let these people from the heavenly court live. We have to kill them quickly. Even if you two princes have any thoughts, please hand them over to the Zifu after you act. Hearing this, many people gasped. It seemed like the Zifu wanted to completely destroy the foundation of the heavenly court. As soon as he said that, the eyelids of the people from the Zifu twitched. Even the two princes' expressions changed. They saw a figure in the crowd walking forward and stopping in front of the ceiling divine crystal. He reached out with a palm. Stop! The elder from the Zifu shouted angrily. What are you doing? Don't you know that once the god crystals are broken, they will wake up? The person in front didn't reply at all. Instead, he slapped the god crystals. Countless cracks spread out in all directions. Not good, he wants to wake them up. He is from the heavenly court. The Zifu roared. The dragon prince's eyes shone with a terrifying light that swept forward. Those eyes turned into millions of dragon shadows that roared in the sky. This is great. The dragon prince attacked. The people from the 10,000 dragon dynasty heaved a sigh of relief. One look was enough to kill him. The person in front turned around and a lamp appeared in his hand. Flames swept across the sky. It blocked all the dragon shadows. How was that possible? The people from the 10,000 dragon dynasty were shocked. The others were also in an uproar. The people from the Zifu exclaimed, Heaven lamp, damn it, you are from the heavenly court. Was this a sky lantern? Kunpingzi's eyes shone brightly as he stared at the other party. The dragon prince's face darkened. You dare to scheme against us? He was furious. He felt that this was a trap. Up ahead, He Shan smiled, thanking everyone for providing him with strength to break the seal. The heavenly court is extremely grateful. Damn it, it really was a trap. The dragon prince roared. The people from the purple mansion were also filled with killing intent. Attack! They shouted angrily and rushed over. However, He Shan's movements were even faster. Wherever the lamp passed, it brought with it a monstrous power that melted the surrounding divine crystals like snow. Over 100 figures appeared. All of them opened their eyes and roared at the sky. Some of them even punched out to fight against the Lord of the Great Wilderness. That figure was sent flying backwards. However, the face of the Master of the Great Desolation was extremely ugly. Although he had forcefully suppressed the other party had just awakened. Once the other party's strength recovered, the other party would not be any weaker than him. Sure enough, that person was a middle-aged man. He raised his head and roared, and the energy from all directions swept towards him like a tornado. His aura quickly recovered. He was not the only one. Over 100 other figures had recovered as well. Not good. The faces of the people from the purple mansion changed drastically. They looked at the dragon prince and Kunpingzi. The two imperial princes, please use your extreme Dao power to suppress them. Kunpingzi said lightly. I will not participate in the grudge between the purple mansion and the heavenly court. He walked to the side. Those who followed him, such as Tianzong and Divine General Wind Snow, also retreated to the side. The faces of the people from the purple mansion were cold as they looked at the dragon prince. Dragon prince, please help us. The purple mansion will reward you handsomely. All right. The dragon prince nodded. They dared to scheme against me. I will not let them go. The dragon prince walked out, and the extreme Dao aura on his body kept erupting. Although he did not bring an extreme Dao weapon, he brought an extreme Dao power with him. As soon as the aura was released, it suppressed the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone felt as if they were facing a great enemy. Even the divine generals and super almighties turned pale. The power of an extreme Dao weapon was too terrifying. Retreat quickly. The surrounding people retreated. The people from the purple mansion sneered as they retreated. The experts from the heavenly court had just awakened. They would not be able to withstand the extreme Dao power. The Lord of the Great Desolation took out a legendary saint weapon. Its terrifying aura was also vast as it stared at Black Mountain. He said coldly, although you have a sky lantern, it can only block one weapon. Are you trying to block the power of extreme Dao, Or are you trying to block my full power attack? I'll leave it to you. Everyone's scalp went numb. The Lord of the Great Desolation was at the peak of the Supreme Saint realm. With a legendary saint weapon in his hand, his attack was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. The Dragon Prince's extreme Tao power was also terrifying. The Sky Lantern could not withstand the joint attack of the two. Despicable! How dare you be the enemy of the Heavenly Court? Hundreds of figures opened their eyes and shouted coldly. The people from the Purple Mansion sneered. You destroyed the Heavenly Court back then. There is no need for you to live anymore. Despicable! The people from the Heavenly Court looked pale as they looked forward. You are the one with the Sky Lantern. Summoned the Peerless Killing Array. Hundreds of people said coldly. Black Mountain said. The movement was too big. Some things protected by the Peerless Killing Array could not be revealed yet. However, the hundreds of people who had awakened frowned. The middle-aged man from before also said. Although that was the case, the extreme Tao power was a legendary saint weapon. We have just awakened and can't fight against them. Black Mountain said. Don't worry. Who said that we only have one Sky Lantern? The Heavenly Court experts who had just awakened were stunned. The others were also puzzled. Were there still Heavenly Court experts here? They were facing a great enemy. In an instant, many people held their saint weapons and looked around. Black Mountain said, Kid, it's up to you. Lin Xian sighed, but he still walked out. When they saw Mad God, everyone was stunned. Could this guy be from the Heavenly Court? The Purple Mansion's side was filled with killing intent. The Dragon Prince frowned. Kid, are you here to die? Although I promised you that I would not kill you if you dodged my attack, that was the last time. But that was just now. If you want to attack again, I don't have any restrictions. I will let you go to hell. Lin Xian laughed. Do you really think you are an emperor? You are just an emperor. Moreover, you are just an incarnation now. What right do you have to say such words? I advise you to get lost now. Otherwise, I will let your incarnation die later. I will let you become the laughing stock of the world. The surrounding people were stunned. Even Kun Pingzi frowned. Where did he get the courage to say such words? Although they were just incarnations, they had extreme Tao power. The surrounding great sages were no match for them at all. Not to mention killing them. Chapter 49-28. The Dragon Prince was thoroughly enraged. Ignorant fool, I will send you to hell and make you feel despair. He walked out, releasing his extreme Tao aura. Thousands of dragons circled around him and pressed forward. In an instant, the surrounding area collapsed. This kid is really an idiot. Does he think that this attack is the same as the Dragon Cloud Hand? What a joke. This attack was 10 times, no, 100 times stronger than the Dragon Cloud Hand. Zilong and the others snorted. Those from the Heavenly Court who had just woken up frowned. Does this person have the strength to fight against the Emperor's extreme Tao? Under everyone's questioning gaze, Lin Xian walked out. A black jar floated out of his body and floated between heaven and earth. A terrifying aura filled the air. In the surroundings, countless black holes blocked the aura of the 10,000 dragons. What is this? Everyone was shocked. Those from the Heavenly Court who had just woken up exclaimed. The Heaven-Devouring Jar! Did he get the recognition of the Heaven-Devouring Jar? This guy actually has the Heaven-Devouring Jar. When the others heard this, they were stunned and their eyes widened. Those from the remote antiquity families were instantly enraged. The Heaven-Devouring Jar was the legendary weapon of the Heaven-Devouring Emperor. It was an extreme Tao weapon. This guy actually had an extreme Tao weapon. Kun Pingzi narrowed his eyes. No wonder he dared to challenge the Dragon Prince. This was his trump card. The Dragon Prince's face turned cold. Soon, he snorted. It's just half a Heaven-Devouring Jar, half an extreme Tao weapon. Is this what you're relying on the most? Kid, who exactly are you? Initially, the Dragon Prince was disdained by Lin Xian. But now, that didn't seem to be the case. With half an extreme Dao weapon, it would be troublesome for him to kill Lin Xian. Those from the Purple Mansion sect exclaimed. How did you get it? What is your relationship with Lin Xian? They were too shocked. Wasn't the heaven-devouring jar obtained by Lin Xian? Now, it was in the hands of the mad god. Is this guy Lin Xian? Impossible. That kid can't be so heaven-defying. How long has it been? Lin Xian's strength is 10 times stronger than before. They didn't believe that anyone could improve their strength so quickly. Lin Xian looked at them and snorted coldly. You guys talk too much. Who wants to fight me today? He came to Black Mountain, and the two of them stood side by side. A heaven-swallowing jar and a sky lantern were enough to stop everything. Damn it! The people of the Z government were gnashing their teeth. They had lost their advantage, but they still had a chance. They still had one hope, and that was Kunping Z. If Kunping Z was willing to join them, then they would have one more extreme Dao power. At that time, they would be able to suppress the other party. The people from the Purple Mansion invited Kunping Z once again. Black Mountain also said, Kunping Z, the Heavenly Court has no enmity with the Kunping race. I don't want to have any grudges in the future. I think Kunping Z doesn't want to have another strong enemy in the future. Once the sky lanterns lit up, the Heavenly Court would revive. No one could stop it. The Purple Mansion made a great wish and was even willing to take out the celestial ruins for Kunping Z to see. Kunping Z frowned. To be honest, the conditions given by the Purple government were very good. He was shocked. The inheritance of the Purple Mansion was very mysterious. Although it wasn't from the Purple Mansion, even the monarch race couldn't figure it out. It was said that there was an even more terrifying force behind the Purple Mansion. It was even related to the legendary Celestials. If the Purple Mansion really took out the secret of celestial ascension, he wouldn't be able to resist. However, Black Mountain was right. He wasn't even a great emperor now. If he offended the Heavenly Court, then he would be suppressed by the Heavenly Court in the future. Although the Heavenly Court was broken, they still had a foundation. If they found a critical moment, such as when he was breaking through, they would bring an extreme Dao weapon to attack him. Then it would be really dangerous. After thinking about it, Kunping Z said, I won't participate in your battle. Goodbye. With that, he turned around. He actually left. The people of the Heaven sect also took a deep breath and followed. In an instant, the forces on Kunping's side left. The people of the Purple Mansion had ugly expressions, but the people of the Heavenly Court laughed. Black Mountain said, Why, do you still want to fight? Don't be arrogant. We don't know who will win yet. Fight. The Elder of the Purple Mansion roared, and the Lord of the Great Desolation attacked. He held a sacred sword in his hand, which was a legendary sacred weapon. It was one of the most powerful sacred weapons. When the sword slashed down, the people around felt that their souls were splitting. Retreat, they all retreated. Black Mountain shouted, Everyone, let's attack together. He held the sky lantern in his hand, and the hundreds of awakened experts behind him also poured their power into the sky lantern. The sky lantern shone in all directions, and the bright light blocked the sacred sword. Damn it, the people of the Purple Mansion had ugly expressions. The Lord of the Great Desolation was at the peak of the Great Saint Realm. He could sweep the world with a legendary sacred weapon. The black-robed man was no match for him. However, there were many experts on the other side, and more importantly, this was the territory of the Heavenly Court. They found that there were countless arrays at the foot of Black Mountain, providing powerful Heavenly Court Dao. They could only look at the Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince walked out, and the extreme Dao aura on his body became more and more piercing. It seemed to have turned into a sky map that was about to cover the sky lantern. However, it was blocked halfway by countless black vortexes. Lin Xian held the heaven-swallowing jar in his hand and also stood out. The 10,000 Dragons diagram? It's not the first time I've experienced it. I just don't know how powerful it is in your hands. Long Huangzi frowned. Had the other party experienced the 10,000 dragons diagram before? How could he not know? One had to know that the 10,000 dragons diagram had only been used a few times. After all, it was an extreme Tao weapon. Using it once consumed too much power. Even his current dragon diagram was only at the level of extreme Tao. Furthermore, it was also due to the fact that he had exhausted too much of his energy. Thus, even though he was only using extreme Tao's might, he was not afraid of his opponent. He knew that with the Mad God's cultivation, he could not use the heaven-swallowing jar at full power. The power that the other party used was about the same as his extreme Tao level. However, the other party's words made him frown. Could it be that this guy also came from the true spirit world? He knew that the 10,000 dragons diagram was used the most in the true spirit world. When the 10,000 ancient races revived. After coming to the buried Emperor Star, it had not used the 10,000 dragons diagram. However, now was not the time for him to think too much. He snorted coldly and activated the extreme Tao level in his body. He struck out once. The sky fell and the earth cracked. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. He activated the heaven-swallowing jar with all his strength. Black Mountain, give me some power. He knew that this was the foundation of the heavenly court, and there was an extremely powerful array formation. Black Mountain formed a seal with his palms, and the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals appeared once again. The armored giant also walked over. Their palms faced the sky, and endless heavenly quartz Tao appeared on their bodies and surrounded the heaven-swallowing jar. The heaven-swallowing jar bloomed with light and directly swallowed the extreme Tao level. Then, it charged towards the Dragon Prince. Not good. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty also hurriedly attacked. 10,000 dragons roared. The Dragon Prince also received a boost of power. The two sides were in a stalemate again. Chapter 49-29. The two extreme Tao weapons kept colliding, tearing apart the 9 heavens. Fortunately, this was the ruins of the heavenly court. Otherwise, the entire world would have been destroyed. It seemed like they were evenly matched. The people in the surroundings were shocked. They didn't attack rashly. Now, all their hopes were on the people in front of them. As long as the extreme Tao weapons were used, the battle would probably end. And I'm the Imperial Prince. The 10,000 dragons portrait was prepared for me. What do you have to fight me? The Dragon Prince shouted coldly. Your heaven-devouring jar isn't complete, and you can't unleash its full power. Right now, you're just holding on. It won't be long before your body shatters and is swallowed by the heaven-devouring jar. The Dragon Prince's voice was so cold that it caused the blood in everyone's body to boil. The expressions of Xueqi and the others changed. Not good. His voice carried a powerful soul power, and it seemed like it wanted to affect Lin Xian's Tao heart. Could Lin Xian block it? They were nervous. Lin Xian sneered. Don't waste your energy. You keep saying that I'm an ant and that you're looking down on me. In the end, do you have the ability to suppress me? I've withstood your previous palm strike, and now, I've withstood your extreme Tao attack. I can't suppress you, but at least we're evenly matched. If I'm an ant, what are you? Aren't you just another ant? The Dragon Prince's expression was cold, and his incarnation released a terrifying aura. It seems like you still don't understand my strength. Let me show you what it means to be invincible. His incarnation suddenly burst into flames. It was incomparably terrifying, and the might of the extreme Tao instantly became terrifying. Its power increased by several times. It's too powerful. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty exclaimed. Is the Dragon Prince going to burn his incarnation? Is he going to use his strongest attack? When the others heard this, their scalps went numb. A incarnation wasn't as simple as a clone. It needed to be nurtured for countless years to form. Moreover, the incarnation and the main body were inextricably linked. If the incarnation died, the main body would also be injured, and even the soul would be injured. Now that the Dragon Prince was burning his incarnation, it seemed like he was really angry. Not good. The people of the heavenly court had unsightly expressions. This power was too strong, and the other party was obviously going to go all out. Would Mad God risk his life? The Dragon Prince stood in the midst of the dragon fire, which shone in all directions. He sneered, "I've only lost a clone. It doesn't affect my main body much. With the resources I have, I can quickly recover. What about you? Are you going to fight me with your life? Either you burn your life force like me, or you get killed." The Dragon Prince roared and turned into a divine dragon, dancing between heaven and earth. The might of the extreme path merged with his incarnation, turning into a beam of extreme path light that carried the strongest killing intent. Everyone was sent flying, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. Mad God was dead for sure. Humph! Unless he burned his life force, he would definitely die even if he managed to block the attack. He was too weak compared to the Dragon Prince. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably solemn. The other party wanted to go all out. What a joke. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with an extremely cold light. He knew a little about incarnations. The Dragon Prince had cultivated incarnations, and he had killed one of them. In the end, he had still been injured. Furthermore, it was not an ordinary injury. Obviously, the other party was trying to scare him. Through the heavenly secret divine eyes, he could see through the other party. Although he had burned his incarnation, his foundation was not shaken. It was just a bluff. If the other party really destroyed his incarnation, his main body would probably be injured as well, and he would not be able to be crowned king in a short period of time. Lin Xian felt that the other party did not dare to take the risk. He sneered, "Who are you trying to scare? You're trying to reach the peak of the Sacred Origin Tower and didn't even participate in the Taoist sect's gathering. Will you hurt your own strength for the current situation? If that's the case, the gap between you and the Kunping finger will only increase. You might not even be able to catch up in your lifetime." As Lin Xian spoke, a terrifying light flickered in his eyes. There was even a pair of demon god eyes that looked down on the world. Everyone felt that their souls were about to shatter. Not good. The faces of the people from the Thousand Dragon Dynasty changed drastically. This mad god wanted to affect the Dragon Prince's Tao heart too. The others felt their hair stand on end. Crazy God was actually on par with the Dragon Prince. This was unbelievable. Impossible! The purple dragon roared crazily. This was just the incarnation of the Dragon Prince, and its strength was not even 1/10,000th of the Dragon Prince's main body. The surrounding people were silent, but they were rolling their eyes in their hearts. Not even 1/10,000th? That was too exaggerated. Everyone admitted that the incarnation was inferior to the main body. However, how much power the incarnation could unleash depended on how long it had been formed. Hence, no one knew how much power the incarnation had of the main body except for the Dragon Prince. In the Dragon Prince's body, dragon blood rumbled and 10,000 dragons roared. "You think you can affect my Tao heart? It's useless. I have invincible faith." His will turned into an extremely terrifying divine spear that slashed out. Lin Xian also roared. "You have invincible will, but I also have invincible faith." He had fought all the way and had never been defeated. An invincible aura also surged from his body and turned into a divine sword. The faith and will between the two of them actually started to clash. The people from the Thousand Dragon Dynasty went crazy. Kill Mad God. They had to kill him. This person did not have the imperial bloodline, but his Tao heart and faith were not weaker than the imperial bloodline. When he grew up in the future, he would be a peerless enemy. More importantly, he had an extreme weapon in his hand. Although it was only half a weapon, it was enough to turn the world upside down. However, they were just talking about it. Now, even the Dragon Reflection Master did not dare to rush forward rashly. If his sneak attack failed, the other party would go crazy and attack with extreme power. He would not have a good time either. Moreover, the other party had the armored giant and the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals behind him. Could his sneak attack succeed? He could only rely on the Dragon Prince. The power on the Dragon Prince's body burned and directly tore apart countless black vortexes. The dragon diagram had already arrived above Lin Xian. Kid, it's useless to say anything, Lin Xian sneered. Who didn't know how to burn their power? The power on his body also burned quickly, turning into a huge aura that surged into the sky-devouring jar. Is this guy crazy? The surrounding people were stunned. The Dragon Prince was an incarnation. Even if his incarnation was destroyed, he would only be injured. But Mad God was the main body. If his main body was destroyed, it was impossible for him to survive. Everyone thought that Lin Xian had gone crazy. The people of the Heavenly Court were even more shocked. Even the Black Mountain frowned. This kid was too crazy. Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Firstly, he had only burned his power, and the consequences would not be life-threatening. At most, his power would dry up and he would not have the strength to fight. This was what he was least afraid of because he had the Sword World supporting him. Chapter 49-30. Although most of this world was desolate, the Force Spirit Valley was developing very well and had gathered a lot of power. Lin Xian could instantly mobilize the power of the Force Spirit Valley to recover his strength. Therefore, his life was not in danger by burning his power. Unless he burned his life force, that would be the real danger. Under Lin Xian's burning power, he blocked the dragon diagram again. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Do you still have any trump cards? If not, then scram. Damn it, the Dragon Prince has gone crazy. I don't believe that he can persist with me. He planned to keep burning. The power of his incarnation continued to weaken, and so did the power of Lin Xian. This time, even Xueqi was nervous. If he continued burning like this and ran out of power, although he wouldn't die, he would be ambushed. Everyone here was an expert. If they were hit, their souls might be destroyed. Lin Xian and the Dragon Prince's auras continued to weaken. Now only 1/10 of their auras were left. It was very dangerous. At this moment, the voice of the Golden Lion Array Spirit came from the Dao Palace. I'll help you. A golden light shone from the Dao Palace and turned into a fearless lion that soared into the sky. The lion seemed to be a real primordial beast that had been revived. The power it carried was simply too terrifying. Not good. The expressions of the people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty changed drastically. The Dragon Prince roared. Damn it, how dare you! Do you believe that I won't destroy your soul? The Array Spirit snorted coldly. He was from the Heavenly Court. What was wrong with helping the Heavenly Court? Therefore, he didn't care about the threat of a Darch at all. The Golden Lion's power charged over. It didn't attack the Dragon Prince at all. Instead, it surged into the Heaven-Devouring Jar. It carried a large amount of power, causing the Heaven-Devouring Jar's power to increase by at least 5 times. At this moment, an even more terrifying extreme Dao power appeared. Even the Supreme Sages and Divine Generals felt their hair stand on end. Not good, it's too dangerous. It's enough to threaten our lives. Retreat. Black Mountain controlled the Sky Lantern and retreated with his people. The Master of the Grand Desolation had no choice but to retreat. Not good, the prince is in danger. Everyone looked at the Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince was really in danger this time. The Dragon Prince's face turned cold. Fine, I don't want this clone today. I'm going to kill you! A sharp killing intent surfaced in his eyes. Soon after, the core of his avatar began to burn. The 10,000 Dragons portrait, which had reached the pinnacle of power, became extremely terrifying once again. He won! Draconic Sovereign sighed, but there was no joy on his face. A dignified prince had to destroy an incarnation to kill a sage king. It was indeed not something to be proud of. It could even be said that it was somewhat embarrassing. However, everyone knew that this Saint King was not ordinary. He had half an extreme weapon, and he also had heaven-defying strength and talent. He was one of the top geniuses below the Crown Prince. Using an incarnation as the price to eliminate a potential future enemy was worth it. That brat was in danger. The people of the heavenly court were also very nervous. The Dragon Prince sneered. He merged with the might of the extreme Tao and charged over. The heaven-devouring jar was once again suppressed, and Lin Xian's strength was rapidly being depleted. Less than 1%. The Dragon Prince smiled. Die with my incarnation. Boom! Ignoring the consequences, he blocked the power of the Golden Lion. Lin Xian's aura continued to decline. When the other party ran out of strength, it would be time for him to die. Lin Xian smiled. You're wrong. I won't die with you. I'll kill this incarnation of yours. With just you? The Dragon Prince's voice came from the flames. I've run out of patience. Let's end this. He would not waste any more words with the other party. The dragon portrait that filled the sky enveloped Lin Xian. The power on Lin Xian's body disappeared, but in the next moment, it surged out crazily. His aura rose again, as if it was about to reach the peak. How was this possible? The Dragon Prince's pupils shrank. Where did you get the power from? One had to know that with the other party's consumption, it was definitely not something that could be recovered by heaven and earth treasures. Even an Herb King could not. Unless the other party had an Herb King that was more than 50,000 years old. But even he did not have that, so how could the other party have it? The faces of Dragon Reflection Master and the others changed drastically, but Black Mountain's side heaved a sigh of relief. This kid really did have a trump card. Lin Xian was currently using the Sword World, the power of the Four Spirit Valley. He did not have a 50,000-year-old Herb King either. However, the power of the Sword World was not something that the Dragon Prince could expect. The Four Spirit Valley had fused with several worlds. In addition to the 4 top-grade spirit veins, this power was enough to allow Lin Xian to recover in an instant. After recovering to his peak, Lin Xian continued to burn his power. He even continued to use the power of the Sword World. Even if he burned, his power would always be maintained at half of his peak. This made the Dragon Prince go crazy. Naturally, he would not have thought that there was a mysterious world in the other party's body. In his opinion, the other party's luck was heaven-defying, and he had obtained a precious spirit herb that was more than 10,000 years old. Damn it! In the end, he still could not compete with Lin Xian's power, and his incarnation gradually disappeared. In the void, a resentful voice came. Kid, you destroyed my incarnation? When my main body sees you, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. I will make you fall into hell forever. The voice made one's scalp tingle. Everyone knew that the Dragon Prince was really angry. This time, it was only his incarnation that had died. The other party's true body was much stronger than his incarnation. The mad god would be in danger in the future. When the other party returned to the ancient city, he would probably be destroyed by the Dragon Prince. Humph! Lin Xian sneered. You should recover from your injuries first. Since your incarnation was destroyed, I think it will take you a few years to recover. Facing the other party's threat, he did not care. The mad god was just one of his identities. At most, he would use the identity of Lin Xian. It would not be easy for the other party to find him. I am the mad god of the heavenly court. Who dares to fight with me? Lin Xian held the heaven-swallowing jar in his hand and looked down at the surroundings. At this moment, everyone was shocked. Even the Lord of the Great Desolation and the Lord of Dragon Reflection had cold expressions and did not attack. If you don't dare to fight, then scram! Lin Xian snorted coldly. He burned his power, and the heaven-swallowing jar's aura swept over. Retreat! The people of the Purple Mansion sect quickly retreated. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court also retreated under the lead of the Lord of Dragon Reflection. The power in the other party's body was too strange. They had not figured it out yet, so they could not attack rashly. Otherwise, they would probably be completely annihilated. In an instant, everyone retreated and retreated out of the southern heavenly gate. Lin Xian, Black Mountain, and the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals chased them all out of the southern heavenly gate. The heavenly court was once again shrouded in clouds and completely sealed. Chapter 49:31. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. His face was a little pale, and he immediately stopped burning his power. He felt like his body was about to split apart. Damn it, it seems like my physique is damaged as well. I won't do this again unless it's absolutely necessary. Lin Xian had to go into seclusion for a while. Heishan said, "Well done, kid. Don't worry, the heavenly court has secret pills that can help you recover. I won't hold back then. Continuously using an extreme weapon like this is very taxing on one's physique." Lin Xian could only withstand it because he had a divine physique. Even so, his divine physique was damaged, and he would need to go into seclusion for a month or two. Roar! Holy Abyss Ancient City gradually calmed down after the Taoist sect's grand ceremony. Everyone followed their previous paths and began to cultivate. However, on this day, an extremely terrifying roar was heard. The ancient city shook, and the sky above collapsed, forming an endless black hole. The kings, venerables, and young warriors below the saint level all fainted. Even the sages vomited blood, and some of the more powerful sages narrowed their eyes. What a terrifying bloodline pressure! Who's angry? Why does it feel like a god has been resurrected? The clan of the ancients, the great sects, and the three great orthodoxies all went to investigate. The top seniors looked through the sky and into the distance. There was a pagoda that stood between heaven and earth, emitting a desolate aura. Holy Abyss Tower. The voice came from there. The people in the Holy Abyss Tower were terrified, and some of the divine generals narrowed their eyes. This aura of the Way of the Dragon belongs to the Dragon Prince. Why is he angry? Everyone guessed, but no one dared to go forward to investigate. Some of the divine generals reported the news to the Thousand Dragon Court. It's better to let the Dragon Clan deal with it themselves. The voice just now carried an extremely strong murderous intent. Whoever appeared in front of him at this time would probably be torn to pieces. On the top 90 floors of the Holy Abyss Tower, a figure opened his eyes. The aura of the Way of the Dragon on his body was even more terrifying. It was as if he was the real dragon god. He was the Dragon Prince's true body. Damn it, how dare you destroy my incarnation? His face was pale, and dragon blood danced around him. He was mad. His true body knew everything that his incarnation had experienced. In the end, he didn't expect that the other party didn't die. Instead, he killed his clone. This was something that had never happened to him before. If he were to suffer such a great loss in the hands of Kun Pengzi, then he would accept it. The other party was an imperial prince and had awakened earlier than him. But now, an ant had injured him. This was something he could not accept. He had always been high and mighty. Other than a few people, he had never cared about anyone else. That was probably why he was so angry right now. Mad God, I will never let you go. I will make you wish you were dead. When the people from the Thousand Dragon Dynasty received the message from the God General, they immediately rushed over. The voices of two old men rang out from outside the secret chamber. Prince, how are you? Could it be that his cultivation speed was so fast that his Tao heart was unstable? The two of them were extremely anxious. It's nothing. I was bitten by an ant. I'm injured. Hurry back to the clan and bring me the dragon race's sacred medicine. I can't spend too much time on healing. I have to rush to the peak of the Saint Origin Tower. Therefore, he had to recover immediately. The elders outside heaved a sigh of relief when they heard that. It seemed that there were no major problems. They said, "Yes, we'll go back and report to the family." The two of them left. They went to prepare to get the dragon race's sacred medicine. However, they still did not know what caused the Dragon Prince to be injured. Was it because Kunpingzi gave him too much pressure? Now that the prince had ascended the Saint Origin Tower, he was only 2 levels away from the peak. It was only a matter of time before he became the crowned king. The people outside did not understand the situation at the St. Origin Tower. They were all guessing. Some of the top experts already knew that the angry roar was from the Dragon Prince. However, they did not know why the Dragon Prince was angry. The heavenly sect was the most nervous. Could it be related to Kunping-zi? They were about to ask. Kunping-zi was not around. Not long after, a piece of shocking news came from St. Origin Ancient City. The previous exploration of the Heavenly Court's ruins had a result. This surprised countless people. Naturally, they knew that the Heavenly Court's ruins had appeared. Every clan and sect had sent a group of experts. The three great orthodoxies were no exception. How were they now? They did not know what was inside the Heavenly Court, but there was a piece of news that stunned them. In the Heavenly Court's ruins, one of the Dragon Prince's clones was killed. As soon as the news came out, the entire St. Origin Ancient City was stirred up. Everyone went crazy. That was a crown prince. A single clone could sweep through everything and make the geniuses of the same generation bow their heads. Who could kill a clone now? Was it someone from the older generation? They heard that a few powerful peak great saints went there. Could it be them? It was possible. They were probably the only ones who had such strength. Some people also said that other than a few peak great saints, there was another person who could do it. Who? Everyone asked. News spread that Kunping-zi's clone had also arrived at the Heavenly Court's ruins. Everyone was surprised. Did the clones of the two crown princes fight? Did the Dragon Prince lose the battle? It was unbelievable. Now, everyone was regretting it. They should have gone to see it with their own eyes. A battle between crown princes would not happen for thousands of years. It might not even happen in 10,000 years. If they could see it with their own eyes, they would be able to brag about it for the rest of their lives. No way. Kunping-zi was the first to be crowned king. Now, he killed the Dragon Prince's clone. Was he going to suppress the Dragon Prince? One after another, voices sounded. When the Heavenly Sect heard this news, they were very happy. After all, they were on Kunping-zi's side. On the Taoist sect's side, their brows were tightly furrowed. Not good. The Dragon Prince's clone was killed and injured. Hurry up and send him healing medicine. They had all placed their hopes on the Dragon Prince. How could they not be nervous now? When the 10,000 Dragons Court received the news, they were also shocked. They all gritted their teeth. Damn it, was Kunping-zi already so powerful? They said that since he dared to kill the Dragon Prince's clone, they would kill his clone. The 10,000 Dragons Court was preparing to send out experts to assassinate Kunping-zi's clone. For a moment, undercurrents surged. The Heavenly Sect also hurriedly sent people to welcome them. The death of the clone would affect the Crown Prince's strength. It might delay him for several years. The other ancient families and peerless sects were also waiting for their people to return. He wondered if those people had recorded the scene of the battle with a formation. Finally, those people who went to the Heavenly Court's ruins returned. The first to return were Kunping-zi and the others because they were the first to leave. When they returned to the vicinity of Holy Abyss City, Kunping-zi and the others were chased. A powerful aura destroyed everything. Chapter 49-32. Not good. The Heaven Sect people's expressions changed. Was the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty going to attack? Kunpeng hollered in rage and shot out an extremely strong attack. The Heaven Sect people sent out a distress signal. They were not far from the ancient city. Not long later, the Heaven Sect experts came to save them. Only then did they manage to protect Kunping-zi's incarnation. Kunping-zi's face was dark and cold. He roared at the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty people, but they returned without any success. The Kunping race people were furious. Did the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty want to start a war with them? They would fight them to the end. Normally, the battle between the princes was a matter of location. The other experts of the Emperor races wouldn't interfere. At least they wouldn't directly assassinate them. Now, the other party had obviously broken the rules. Kun Pingzi's expression was really ugly. He asked if the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty people were crazy. Did they want to start a war between the two emperor races? The people who came to save them explained that they had no choice. Dragon Prince's incarnation was killed by them, so they were probably really crazy. Kun Pingzi was stunned. What did they say? Dragon Prince's incarnation was killed? When did that happen? The experts who came were stunned too. Didn't they know? Kun Pingzi shook his head. Those people were stunned. How was that possible? Didn't they kill him? Wind Snow God General and the others said that Kun Pingzi left early. So, he didn't kill him. Then, who was it? Was it an older Supreme Saint who killed Dragon Prince's incarnation? But why did the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty want to take revenge on them? Let's go back first. Kun Pingzi's face was dark and cold. Although this matter was shocking to him, he had a rough idea. He waved his hand and brought these people back to Heaven Sect. After returning, everyone gathered in the main hall. Those Heaven Sect elders and Kun Ping race experts were really confused. Kun Pingzi and the others explained what happened. Only then did the others understand that the Heaven Sect actually had some trump cards. Moreover, he was revived. It seemed like the Heaven Sect was the one who killed Dragon Prince's incarnation. That should be the case. Kun Pingzi took in a deep breath and thought about someone. Was it that crazy god? But he left early, so he didn't know. He said that he would go and investigate. He wanted to find out what happened after I left. I'll go. Divine General Wind Snow left with his men. The Kun Ping elders gritted their teeth. Damn it, the Celestial Court did it, so why did the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty do it to us? Kun Pingzi said that the news hadn't been completely spread out yet. They probably only knew that the Dragon Prince's clone had fallen, but no one knew who killed him. In most people's eyes, I'm the only one who can kill Dragon Prince's clone. That's why they attacked me? This time, everyone completely understood. Indeed, even they thought it was the Kun Pingzi's doing, let alone other people. Then what should we do? Should I go and clarify the matter? Kun Pingzi said that there was no need. The news would spread out quickly. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would change their targets, but since he dared to assassinate me, I would let him know the consequences. The eyes of the Kun Ping race brightened as well. The Dragon Prince should be injured now. Maybe we can take this opportunity to attack him. There was more than one Imperial Prince. There would definitely be a battle in the future, and there would definitely be Imperial Princes who would fall. The Dragon Prince was a very powerful potential enemy. Although they were behind Kun Pingzi now, no one could say for sure in the future. Now that the Dragon Prince was injured, it was an opportunity for them. If they could kill him or make him more injured, then the Dragon Prince would have no hope in the future battle for the Emperor's Road. Kun Pingzi nodded after hearing that. Think of a way not to attack directly. Otherwise, it would cause a war between the Emperor races. The Kun Ping race began to prepare. At the same time, more news was sent back. Everyone went crazy. The Dragon Prince's clone wasn't killed by Kun Pingzi. Heavens, who was it? Was it a peak great sage? The Celestial Court had the ability to revive. What? You said it was Mad God who killed him? News came one after another. The most shocking one was the news about Mad God. Mad God killed the Dragon Prince's clone. Everyone felt like they were dreaming. They were no stranger to the name Mad God. It could even be said that his name was well known. But compared to the Dragon Prince, the difference was like heaven and earth. No matter how strong Mad God was, he was only ranked 1000 in the Holy Gulf Tower. The Dragon Prince was ranked second. How did this guy do it? Some people said that the Dragon Prince was just a clone. Mad God had half an extreme grade weapon and the help of the Heavenly Court's elites. That was how he succeeded. Even so, it was enough to shock everyone. Everyone knew that a storm was coming. Would the Dragon Prince let it go? Would the 1000 Dragon Court let it go? They would definitely kill him. The Thousand Dragon Court was also stunned when they received the news. It wasn't Kunpingzi. It was Mad God. Damn it, they wanted to catch that kid. He had half an extreme-grade weapon on him. The Thousand Dragon Court changed their target and began to search for Mad God. They even set up various traps on the way back. As long as he appeared, they were guaranteed to kill him in one strike. The people of the three major orthodoxies were shocked, especially the Tao sect. The people of the Dragon Palace couldn't believe it. Mad God, it was Mad God again. Mad God had killed many of their geniuses at the Tao sect's sacred assembly. Now, he was attacking the Dragon Prince. The people of the Divine Union were also shocked and clenched their fists. No matter how arrogant the people of the Dragon Palace were, the Dragon Prince's clone was still killed by Mad God. The Crimson Dragon and the others were even more shocked. They knew that Mad God was Lin Xian. Had this brat already reached such a terrifying stage? Everyone was discussing. Regardless of whether it was the young disciples or the older generation experts, they were all shocked. Many people began to look for Lin Xian. Lin Xian's friends and allies were worried about him. The people of the Dragon Prince were gnashing their teeth. The people of the three major orthodoxies had returned, and so had the people of the Sacred Abyss Tower. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court were the first to keep an eye on the people of the Sacred Abyss Tower. However, they couldn't find any trace of Mad God. How was that possible? Could it be that the brat had escaped? They immediately went to find Divine General Haiyuan and the others. Divine General Haiyuan and the others were also on high alert. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court wouldn't attack them directly, right? Fortunately, the other party only asked about it. Divine General Haiyuan said that Mad God didn't come out with them. He stayed in the Heavenly Court. This wasn't a secret. Other than Divine General Haiyuan and the others, everyone knew about it. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court gritted their teeth. Damn it, they didn't believe that Mad God wouldn't come out for the rest of his life. They sent people to stay here and keep watch. Some of them returned to report to the Dragon Prince. The Dragon Prince had been waiting for news. When he heard that Mad God hadn't returned, he shouted coldly. He couldn't hide forever. He guarded the way back in the Sacred Abyss Tower. He kept a close watch on Divine General Haiyuan and the others. If they had any contact with Mad God, he would attack immediately. Yes. A group of people left. The Dragon Prince asked. Where's my sacred medicine? Is it not here yet? It's on the way and will be here soon, the powerhouse of the dragon race said. However, when the dragon race's sacred medicine was delivered, some changes occurred. Someone intercepted it. Chapter 49-33. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court roared and fought. Who are you? The mysterious people didn't reply and just attacked. Damn it. The two sides fought and the sky collapsed. But in the end, the 10,000 Dragon Court took out a few legendary saint weapons and destroyed everything. The mysterious enemies disappeared. Leave, someone wants to harm the Dragon Prince. They didn't dare to be careless and kept teleporting. Finally, they arrived at the Holy Abyss Tower. The guard asked, What is going on? Even the Dragon Prince frowned. The expert who came said, Someone wants to kill us and destroy the saint medicine. What? These people are crazy. Who is it? Who dares to go against the 10,000 Dragon Court? Many roars sounded and the Dragon Prince's face became extremely cold. It was obvious that someone wanted to stop him from recovering. Who was it? Was it someone related to Mad God? No, the Dragon Prince said that the Heavenly Court had just recovered and didn't have so much power. Also, they wouldn't have come so quickly. Then who was it? The Dragon Prince scoffed coldly. Who benefits the most from me being injured? The 10,000 Dragon Court experts sucked in a cold breath. You mean Kunpengzi? Apart from him, I can't think of anyone else. The Dragon Prince's eyes were filled with killing intent. Although Mad God was despicable, he wasn't his true enemy. He only had one true enemy, and that was Kunping-zi. At this moment, an elder outside said that someone from the Kunping race had sent healing pills to help the Dragon Prince recover. Hearing this, the Dragon Prince laughed coldly. Since the assassination failed, are they here to investigate? Tell them that I'm missing. Yes. The elder went out to reply, and the others all left. The door of the secret room closed, and the array shone. The Dragon Prince had a jade bottle in his hand, and there were 6 pills inside. They were the healing pills of the dragon race and were extremely precious. One was enough to heal his current injuries. Under normal circumstances, he wouldn't use such a precious pill if he lost one of his clones. But not now. He had been fighting with Kunping-zi and he was already behind him. He couldn't waste any more time. Thinking about this, he opened the bottle and poured out a drop of the dragon race medicine. He then swallowed it. A terrifying power exploded from his body. It was a strong life force that healed his injuries. The Dragon Prince curled his lips into a smile. 2 days later, his injuries would be healed. But suddenly, his pupils shrank, and he roared towards the sky. Detestable. Countless draconic chi laws condensed, wanting to shatter that medicinal pill. However, his body swayed, and he spat out a mouthful of black blood. Roar! Dragon scales appeared on his body, and he turned into a dragon shadow, roaring toward the sky. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were shaking. The sacred abyss tower shook violently. Outside, the experts of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty who were guarding were all talking in low voices. With the dragon race's saint medicine, there wouldn't be any problems. They could rest assured now. However, all of a sudden, they heard an angry roar. The voice was 10 times angrier than before. Not good. These people's expressions changed greatly, and they hurriedly returned. The array formation of the secret room was torn apart, and these people rushed in. Prince, how are you? They asked nervously. But in the next moment, these people's pupils suddenly shrank, and their faces became incomparably ugly. The Dragon Prince sat there with a pale face and black blood flowing in front of him. He was poisoned! Several dragon race elders hastily rushed over. They struck out astonishing law and fused it into Long Fengji's body. Not good, they couldn't suppress it. What kind of poison was this? How could he be poisoned? Could it be that there was something wrong with the dragon race's saint medicine? Damn it, don't think about this anymore. Hurry up and save the prince. These people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty went crazy. If anything happened to the Dragon Prince, even if they died 100 times, it wouldn't be enough. Hurry up and ask the Tower Master of the Sacred Abyss Tower to take out the best healing medicine. At the same time, they activated the Super Teleportation Array formation and rushed back to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Orders sounded one after another. The entire Sacred Abyss Tower was alarmed. They moved quickly, and there was an extremely terrifying array formation flashing in the sky. Therefore, everyone in the Sacred Abyss Ancient City saw it. What was going on? What happened? Was someone teleporting over? Kunping-zi stood there, his eyes flickering. The Kunping expert beside him said, "That's not right. Our people were blocked. They didn't succeed at all." Kunping-zi said, "But I can feel that the Dragon Prince's aura has become very weak. It's obvious that he's injured. It's very likely that he's poisoned. I wonder who did it." The Dragon Prince's situation was very bad. However, he was an imperial prince after all. At this moment, his bloodline had activated, and the fragments of the great emperor's bloodline were constantly revolving around him. It protected his heart meridian. Damn it, the poison of the Fire Qilin cave. Was it Fire Qilin? Damn it, I won't let him off. After saying this, the Dragon Prince fainted. Beside him, the expressions of the people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty turned ugly. The Fire Qilin cave was also an emperor race, but it was on a different continent. On another continent, the mountains and rivers were far away. How could the other party plot against them? Damn it, they were too careless. They had been on guard against Kunping-zi. Who would have thought that it was the third Imperial Prince who secretly attacked? The teleportation array was ready. This was the Divine Spring Pill. Soon, the people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty rushed over and gave the top-grade Divine Pill to the Dragon Prince. At the same time, the array formation on their bodies flickered. The super teleportation array activated and teleported them away. The array formation flickered between heaven and earth and was about to disappear. The Kunpeng expert gritted his teeth and asked, "Should we still chase?" Kunpengzi shook his head. "No need, someone else has already done it for us." Since he could succeed, this poison was definitely not simple. The Dragon Prince was really unlucky this time. "Let's go." The people from the Kunpeng race smiled proudly. It seemed that he couldn't become an emperor in his life. Everything depended on him. At the same time, an elder said solemnly that they should send more people to follow Kunpengzi and pay attention to the movements of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. They should inform the family to be prepared to activate the extreme weapons at any time. If the Dragon Prince was seriously injured, who knew if the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would go crazy? Hence, they had to be prepared. Kunpengzi said that there was no need to go through so much trouble. He was prepared to return to the family. That was good. The surrounding experts heaved a sigh of relief. If they returned to the Emperor race, no matter how strong the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was, they wouldn't be able to hurt them. Saint Origin City was still talking about Mad God when another piece of news spread out, causing the surrounding people to go crazy. The Dragon Prince was poisoned. No way, what was going on? However, this news quickly disappeared. It was as if someone had secretly wiped out everything. This shocked many people. Previously, they thought that the news was fake. Someone wanted to take this opportunity to attack the Dragon Prince and even suppress him. But now, it seemed that the news was most likely true. The Dragon Prince was really poisoned. Who did it? Mad God? They felt that it was impossible. Could it be another emperor's son? Many people thought of Kunpengzi, but without evidence, no one dared to say anything. At the same time, Lin Xian returned. The demonic energy on his body disappeared and he returned to his original appearance. When he returned to the ancient city, he felt a cold aura covering his body. It seemed to be detecting something, but it quickly moved away. Chapter 49-34. Lin Xian suppressed his dragon soul and bloodline as he narrowed his eyes. Were they from the 1,000 Dragon Court? It seemed like these people had not given up. However, he swaggered past the powerhouses of the 1,000 Dragon Court, and none of them realized that he was the Mad God. Just like that, Lin Xian safely returned to the Dao sect. The Dark Rainbow Divine Dragon and the others heaved a sigh of relief when they arrived at the Divine Union. They had been worried that Lin Xian would be targeted by the 1,000 Dragon Court. It seemed like he was safe now. Lin Xian asked after returning home. Why was the Dao sect so quiet? This shouldn't be the case. If news of the Heavenly Court had come back, the world would have been shocked. However, Lin Xian realized that the people of the Dao sect were very low-key. It seemed like there were fewer people. He gathered the people of the Divine Union and asked if the news of the Heavenly Court had come back. The news had come back and it was really shocking. The Mad God was really powerful. He had actually been able to kill the Dragon Prince's clone. The people of the Divine Union were very excited. Their eyes were filled with stars. Lin Xian smiled. Let's see if the 1,000 Dragon Court still dared to be arrogant. However, why was the Dao sect so quiet? Lin Xian frowned again. Bai Susu walked over and said, because there was something even more shocking. What was it? Lin Xian had just returned, so he did not know. Bai Susu said that there were rumors that the Dragon Prince had been poisoned and severely injured. Therefore, the people of the Dragon Palace were very low-key and had not come out recently. Furthermore, Dao Zhong was on the Dragon Prince's side. How could Dao Zhong be happy when the Dragon Prince was being suppressed? Hong had been poisoned. Lin Xian was stunned. He knew that the Dragon Prince would be injured. However, a clone should not have been able to poison him. Bai Susu shook her head. Who knew? The Dragon Prince had the 1,000 Dragon Court behind him, but he could not rule the world with one hand. There were many princes competing with him, including Kun Pengzi. Lin Xian took a deep breath. It seemed like the battle between princes was much more complicated than he had imagined. Perhaps Kun Pengzi wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate the Dragon Prince. No matter who he is, the Crimson Dragon sneered. As long as he is injured, I am happy. They came here to kill the Dragon Prince and avenge Long Guang. Now, before they even made a move, the Dragon Prince was already heavily injured. Lin Xian asked. Can you get more specific information? Bai Susu shook her head. Less than a day after the news surfaced, someone had already stopped it from spreading. Clearly, someone was trying to prevent this news from spreading. Therefore, we guessed that Long Huangzi was really injured. Lin Xian nodded. I understand, he said, preparing to go find Leaf Daudenier to investigate the situation. Leaf Daudenier also returned, and was just as shocked as he was when he heard the news. He sent a letter to Lin Xian stating that he wasn't sure. However, Kun Pingzi also disappeared, seemingly returning to his family. When Lin Xian received this news, he narrowed his eyes. It seemed like it was going to be very dangerous recently. Even Kun Pingzi had to go into seclusion to avoid danger. It seemed like the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty might go crazy. He told the people around him, keep a low profile for now. Don't provoke the Dragon Palace, let alone the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. If the Dragon Prince died, the mad dog that was the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would bite anyone it saw. Lin Xian also made up his mind. He wouldn't use his identity as the Mad God. He was going to cultivate in seclusion for a period of time. Then, he went to another place. This time, he received a piece of news. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the people of the Divine Union nodded. Even Bai Susu said, That's right, I'm going to go into seclusion this time. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to improve a lot. Lin Xian also went into seclusion. He returned to the Sword World. Previously, he had used a lot of the Sword World's power in the battle with the Dragon Prince. At the moment, the light above the Forest Spirit Valley was a little dim. However, Lin Xian wasn't worried, as he could sense that the power inside was recovering. There were 6 stars above the Forest Spirit Valley. They were 6 realms. As long as these 6 realms weren't destroyed, the power consumed could be recovered. Furthermore, the recovery speed was extremely fast. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He was cultivating the Fearless Lion Mark in the Sword World. The core of the Fearless Lion Mark was to be fearless. It was very similar to Lin Xian's Invincible Heart. Therefore, Lin Xian was able to cultivate it easily. The Crimson Dragon, Fu Hongye, and the others also started to cultivate in seclusion. Wu Hua also joined in. Furthermore, because the Dragon Prince had been poisoned, more people joined the Divine Union during this period of time. It seemed like some people weren't optimistic about the Dragon Palace. On another continent, a figure was sitting cross-legged in the middle of a sky full of flames. The surrounding lava could easily turn a great sage into ashes. In front of him, an old man flew over with a smile on his face. The man in the flames opened his eyes and said, Did it work? The old man nodded. It was a success. Very good. The man in the flames stood up and smiled. This time, Long Wu was in for a tough time. The identity of the man in the flames wasn't ordinary. He was a disciple of the Fire Qilin clan called Hua Qilin. He was the one who had secretly attacked and injured the Dragon Prince. 10,000 Dragon Court. The atmosphere was extremely tense. The elders of the 10,000 Dragon Court looked gloomy as they gritted their teeth. Who was the culprit? They had to tear him into pieces. The great sages who followed him said that the Dragon Prince had been attacked by Hua Qilin before he fainted. What? Hua Qilin? The Fire Qilin clan? They could attack even without being on this continent. Damn it, they were too much. Did they want to die? Let's go and kill the Fire Qilin clan together. We'll let the Fire Qilin clan know how powerful we are. The experts of the Dragon clan were furious. At that moment, an old man walked over. Don't act rashly. The plan now was to treat the Dragon Prince as soon as possible. Old ancestor, how is it? Those people asked anxiously. The old man's expression became really ugly. If the poison of the Great Tao wasn't cured, it might cause a great Tao injury. When they heard this, the expressions of the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court became really ugly. A great Tao injury was even more terrifying than an injury to one's foundation. If they couldn't recover, their cultivation wouldn't improve for the rest of their lives. They might even become a cripple. Old ancestor, you have to treat the Dragon Prince. Our 10,000 Dragon Court has all kinds of treasures. The dragon race, old ancestor said. Although we have many trump cards, the people who attacked are also from the Emperor race. The poison they used was left behind by the Emperor. Normal great sages would immediately turn into ashes after using it. Only the Dragon Prince had the bloodline of the Emperor race, which was why he could survive until now. But the situation wasn't good. I have already used the power of the extreme Tao to suppress the poison in my body. But I have to find a healing medicine within a year. Otherwise, it will cause a great Tao injury. Now go investigate and don't let go of any clues. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court all searched. 5 days later they gathered once more. Old ancestor, we found it. There is a tree of life in spirit realm. It might be able to treat the Dragon Prince's injury. Chapter 49-35. Spirit Region. It was a very mysterious place with towering ancient trees. It was a primeval forest. More importantly, there were countless spirit herbs and spirit fruits. Legend had it that there was a spirit spring of life in Spirit Region. Therefore, the spirit herbs that grew there were much better than in other places. However, there were many spirit herbs there, so it was very powerful. There were many experts and top alchemists. Other forces had to curry favor with Spirit Region. In front, the dragon race's patriarch's eyes flickered. He said, "Okay, contact Spirit Region. But don't say what we're thinking. Ask them about the Tree of Life first. I heard that Spirit Region has an immortal divine herb. Check if there's one." His subordinates moved quickly. The core elders walked over and said, "Patriarch, I'm afraid Spirit Region won't give us the Tree of Life." Indeed, the Tree of Life was very precious. It was the most important thing in Spirit Region. It was up to them to choose. If they were obedient, they would let him go. If not, don't blame the Thousand Dragons dynasty for being rude. For the Dragon Prince, we can do anything. At all costs. The Patriarch's eyes shone with a sharp light. The core elders around him also took a deep breath. They understood that if the Patriarch didn't give them the Tree of Life, they would use all their extreme weapons for the Dragon Prince. Therefore, they started to prepare. They prepared a lot of resources. After all, the consumption of extreme weapons was unimaginable. But for the Dragon Prince, it was all worth it. On the Dragon Tribe's side, Lin Xian of the Tao Palace's Divine Union also opened his eyes and walked out of the Sword World. The fearless lion seal had reached a bottleneck. It was useless for him to cultivate it in real combat. Moreover, he had other things to do. Lin Xian hadn't forgotten about Xia Jiuyo. In addition, he had met up with the Heavenly Court's people and asked them for some information. Spirit Region had the Tree of Life. There might be divine fruits of life or divine spring of life. If he could get some, he might be able to save Jiuyo. After all, Xia Jiuyo wasn't seriously injured. He was dying. This was the most difficult to treat. However, Spirit Region was extraordinary. They had produced immortal divine herbs before. Immortal divine herbs were exclusive to emperors. If a great emperor swallowed it, he would be able to live for another lifetime, which was equivalent to doubling his lifespan. That was why Lin Xian was preparing to head to Spirit Realm. Lin Xian didn't bring many people with him. After he left the Holy Ji Palace, there was someone waiting for him outside. It was Xueqi. "Husband, where are we going next?" Xueqi asked. Lin Xian had told him to go to Spirit Realm. The two of them rose into the air and flew into the distance. Spirit Realm was also on the Alcade continent, but it wasn't close to Holy Abyss Ancient City. Moreover, Spirit Realm was an independent space just by hearing its name. It had only left a set of coordinates on the Alcade continent. It was equivalent to a spatial entrance, so ordinary people couldn't find it at all. Lin Xian had received news from Black Mountain, which was why he knew about this. At this moment, they were heading towards a city. This city was called Limitless City. Although it wasn't passed down from ancient times, it was still very mysterious. Behind the Everlasting City was a forest known as the Everlasting Mountain Range. This place was very special, and ordinary saints wouldn't be able to return if they went there. They would have to ride the Everlasting War Chariot. Heaven and earth gave birth to two elements, and this place was called Limitless. It seemed like it had a power that was independent of heaven and earth. The people who came here were very careful. After Lin Xian and Xueqi arrived, they prepared to look for a war chariot. Xueqi wore a veil because she had just entered the city, and she had already attracted countless gazes. It was rare to see a peerless beauty like her with such an icy temperament, and those people couldn't even move after seeing her. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Xueqi wore a veil. The two of them looked around the city, and they quickly found a war chariot. They paid the money and prepared to ride it. The war chariot was very big, and it looked like a walking palace from the outside. It was divided into many secret rooms and rooms. There was even a great hall. There was a restaurant, and so on. It was very luxurious. Of course, the price was enough to make a saint's heart ache, but it wasn't worth mentioning to Lin Xian. After they entered the war chariot, Lin Xian was surprised. The war chariot's exterior was made of black gold, and it was engraved with Tao patterns and formations, but its interior was made of stone. These stones seemed to have a mysterious aura, and Lin Xian used his heavenly secret divine eyes to observe them. He nodded slightly. At this moment, the woman who led them here said with a smile, "Young master, these aren't ordinary stones. They are called limitless stones, and only war chariots made of limitless stones can travel in the limitless forest. Otherwise, they will disappear mysteriously." This woman was called Aku, and she was the guide. "So that's how it is." Lin Xian smiled. Aku looked at Xueqi and said enviously, "This elder sister is so beautiful. Although she is wearing a veil, she must be a peerless beauty. She must be young master's companion." Lin Xian nodded, and Xueqi also thanked Aku. As they walked through the hall and toward the resting area, two people walked toward them. They were very young. The man was handsome and wore luxurious clothes. When he saw Xueqi, he was stunned, and a ray of light appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect to see a fairy with such a temperament here. The other person, who looked like a scholar, was also curiously sizing them up. Lin Xian was also surprised. The young man dressed like a scholar was actually a woman, and she was also very beautiful. A woman dressed as a man. Interesting. Lin Xian smiled at the other party, and the scholar was stunned. He looked at Lin Xian with disgust. He snorted, turned around, and left. Aku, who was leading the way, said, "These two people had extraordinary identities, and it was said that they came from the Medicine Star. They seemed to be from one of the two great powers of the Medicine Star, the Alchemy Kingdom." The Alchemy Kingdom. Lin Xian was also surprised after hearing this. He had been to the Medicine Star before, and the 4 spirit veins were obtained from there. The Alchemy Kingdom was one of the two great powers of the Medicine Star, and the other was the Medicine Sect. Lin Xian had fought with the experts of the Medicine Sect, and he didn't expect to meet people from the Alchemy Kingdom again. Judging from the other party's arrogant appearance, he should have a great identity in the Alchemy Kingdom. Could it be that they are also going to the spirit domain? Lin Xian was puzzled. But soon, he shook his head and didn't care about it. The two of them entered their room. Their room was very close to the Alchemy Kingdom's people, and it could be said that it was right across from theirs. After they entered their room, they rested for a while, and when evening came, they went to the restaurant to eat. There were many people in the restaurant, and all of them had extraordinary strength and status. Ordinary people couldn't afford to board the black gold chariot. "There is an empty seat over there. Let's go over there." Lin Xian and Xueqi walked over. Chapter 49-36. As the two sat down, the two people from the Alchemy Kingdom were not far away. Lin Xian glanced at them, but the little scholar snorted and turned his head away. In her eyes, there was definitely a problem with Lin Xian being so interested in a man like her. However, she didn't know that she was wearing a jade necklace that could hide her aura from a saint's detection. Even a great saint might not be able to see through her identity. Unfortunately, he met Lin Xian. Lin Xian's Tianji God gaze instantly saw through him, which was why he smiled like that earlier. That smile caused the little scholar to feel extremely uncomfortable. Lin Xian glanced at him and ignored him. He told Xueqi, "Sit here for a bit, I'm going out for a bit." He went out. Not long after, a cold shout came from the distance. "Get out of the way, my young master is coming. Who dares to block his path? Do you want to die?" The moment he said that, even the saint rulers stepped back. Who was so arrogant? The young man from the Alchemy Kingdom frowned. The little scholar also had a look of disgust as he looked up. They saw a group of people walking over from the distance with majestic gait. They were surrounded by grand das as if they were gods descending to the mortal world. The one in the center was a white-haired man. He had 5 storage rings on his hands, and they were all top-notch. Furthermore, they were all top-notch. It was obvious that they had extraordinary origins. There were many guards next to him. One of them snorted and said, "Scram, our young master has no place to sit." The person who was chased away had an ugly expression as he suddenly stood up. He was a middle-aged man with terrifying flames revolving around his body. At this time, someone came over and whispered a few words to the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's expression changed, and he turned around to leave. "You're pretty fast." The guard snorted and placed a chair in front of him. "Young master, quickly sit down." The white-haired man nodded and was about to sit down when he suddenly exclaimed in surprise. He looked over and saw a woman in front of him. He could only see the side of her face, and she was also wearing a veil. However, his rich experience told him that this was a peerless beauty. He didn't expect to meet a peerless fairy in this place. He didn't sit down and continued to walk forward. After seeing this, the people around him quickly followed. "Fairy, don't you feel lonely?" The white-haired man arrived in front of Xueqi and spoke with a smile. The others also looked over and exclaimed in surprise. "What a mysterious woman!" Thinking about it, under the veil, there must be a peerless face. Xueqi cast a glance at him before she withdrew her gaze. She calmly drank her tea, and it seemed like she didn't pay any attention to him. She was also an ice beauty. The white-haired man became even more interested. He sat down and asked, "How should I address you, fairy?" "I'm called by Tsangxing." When the surrounding people saw this scene, they shook their heads slightly. It seemed that this mysterious woman would not be able to escape the clutches of the devil. Obviously, this white-haired man was very famous, at least in this area. Many people on the war chariot knew each other, so they all felt sad for Xueqi. The two people from the kingdom frowned as well, especially the little scholar. He sighed and said, "You're right. The reason why she used the jade pendant necklace to change her appearance and aura was to avoid such trouble. Now, it seemed that she had made the right decision." Xueqi glanced at him in disgust. "No matter who you are, please leave immediately. This place is already occupied." The fairy's voice was really pleasant to the ears, like the celestial voice of the 9 heavens. Bai Tsengxing smiled. Occupied? Is it your sister? That's good, I want to meet her. This woman was so beautiful and mysterious, so her friend must be extraordinary as well. If she was also a peerless beauty, then Bai Tsengxing felt that he would be rich today. The place she spoke of is mine. At this time, a faint voice came about. The surrounding people looked over, and Bai Tsengxing frowned. It was a man's voice, and he immediately became angry. When he turned around, he saw a man walking over. Fuck, this brat was even more handsome than him, and this made him even angrier. Where did this brat come from? Get lost! Can't you see that I'm chatting with the fairy? Lin Xian chuckled as well. What kind of reckless fool are you? I'll give you 3 seconds to leave my place. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences. After these words came out, the surrounding people went into an uproar, and they all looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a fool. The guard next to Bai Tsengxing also laughed. Brat, this is your first time in Everlasting City, yet you dare to be so disrespectful to our young noble Bai. Do you know our young master Bai's identity? The 2 people from the Alchemy Kingdom also shook their heads and sighed. The little scholar snorted. This guy was too bold. The guards next to Bai Tsengxing were all top saint monarchs. Although there were only 4 of them, it was definitely a powerful force. Plus, with Bai Tsengxing's identity, even a great saint wouldn't dare to act rashly. Lin Xian laughed even more. It had been a long time since someone dared to challenge him. He asked, Then do you know my identity? Oh, brat, you have some background. Tell me, can you scare this young master? Bai Tsengxing sneered. Lin Xian glanced at him. You're not qualified to know. Do you want to die? Bai Tsengxing felt that he had been played, and his expression darkened. The 4 guards also came over with cold expressions. Brat, quickly kneel on the ground and roll towards the door. If you roll with a good posture, our young master will spare your life. Otherwise, I'll break your limbs and cripple your meridians, then throw you into the forest outside to die without a burial place. Hearing this, the surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. The middle-aged man who was chased away also had a face full of fear. He already knew young Master Bai's identity, and he really did have such strength. Thinking of this, he walked over and said, Little brother, I think you should give your seat to young Master Bai. Another old man came out and advised, Yes, compared to the fairy, your life is more important. Young Master Bai isn't someone you can provoke. Not someone I can provoke? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and smiled. His eyes flickered with a golden radiance. You're just a demon beast. What, you think you can be arrogant in front of me just because you have a little bloodline? 3 seconds have passed. You'll have to bear my wrath. Lin Xian reached out and grabbed Bai Tsengxing. Bai Tsengxing's expression changed as he slammed the table. Cripple his hand. The person next to him swung his saber at Lin Xian's arm with a clang. Clang. The surrounding space collapsed, and countless people were in an uproar. With that slash, the young man's hand would definitely be broken. However, when they widened their eyes to look, they were all dumbfounded. They realized that Lin Xian's hand was intact, but his saber was broken in half. The guards were also stunned. Lin Xian's hand grabbed Bai Tsengxing's head. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? I'm afraid you don't have the right. A cold voice sounded. Chapter 49-37. This sudden change caused everyone to be dumbfounded. They didn't expect this young man to be an expert. So what? He's dead for sure. Young Master Bai wasn't someone he could afford to offend. The 4 guards angrily shouted, You dare? Release the young master and kneel on the ground, kowtow, and admit your mistake. You still dare to be arrogant? Lin Xian grabbed Bai Tsengxing's hand and exerted some force. With a cracking sound, the hand was twisted into a fried dough twist. Bai Tsengxing screamed in pain. When had he ever been tortured like this? Damn it! Do you know who I am? Just as he finished speaking, one of his legs was broken and turned into a bloody mist. He didn't dare to say anything else. "Spare my life, I won't dare to do it again." The surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. This guy was too ruthless. Some people's eyelids twitched. This brat was going to suffer a calamity. The two people from the alchemy kingdom were also surprised, especially the little scholar. His beautiful eyes were shining brightly. This guy was an expert. He was probably at the top of the Saint Monarchs. He was a genius. Lin Xian grabbed Bai Changxing's broken body and walked outside. He quickly reached the edge of the chariot. He opened the door. The guards inside wanted to say something, but Bai Changxing roared, "Didn't you hear? Open the door for me!" The guards didn't dare to say anything and quickly opened the door. At this moment, the chariot had already started moving through the forest at a very fast speed. Everyone turned their heads to look, wondering what Lin Xian wanted to do. Lin Xian sent Bai Changxing flying with a kick. Bai Changxing turned into a meteor and crashed into a distant mountain peak. The guards also roared and jumped into the sky, leaving the chariot. "Brat, just wait for your death." They wouldn't let him go. Lin Xian coldly snorted and returned to Xueqi's side. He said with a smile, "The annoying fly has left. Let's eat." Xueqi nodded. In truth, with Lin Xian's strength, Xueqi didn't need to worry about such a fly. After eating, Lin Xian and Xueqi returned to the resting room and started cultivating. Lin Xian wouldn't miss such a good opportunity if he cultivated the two divine bodies at the same time. Of course, there was an even more effective way to cultivate. Lin Xian pulled Xueqi's hand and walked into the secret chamber. Then, he set up a formation. When daybreak arrived, Xueqi's small face was flushed red. She snuggled up to Lin Xian. She really wanted to spend the rest of her life with her husband. Lin Xian said, "He will." Of course, he knew that now was not the time. He still had the peerless Dragon Prince, so he had to cultivate even harder. At this moment, there was a sudden loud noise. The war chariot came to a sudden stop, and the force caused everyone's bodies to sway. However, these experts instantly stabilized their bodies and cried out in alarm. What was going on? The manager of the war chariot also frowned. Soon, he walked over with a gloomy expression. The door of the chariot opened, and an extremely terrifying demonic beast aura appeared outside. The guard who had left earlier also walked in and coldly shouted, "Where was that brat from before? Tell him to come here and accept his death." Bai Tsungsung's voice echoed out. "Since you dared to attack me, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death." Upon hearing this, the scalps of the people in the vicinity became numb. They knew that Bai Changxing had come back to take revenge. When Lin Xian heard this, his expression became gloomy. He said to Xueqi, "You should rest here. I will go out and deal with this matter. You should hurry up," Xueqi said with a smile. She wasn't worried about Lin Xian. After Lin Xian came out, the formation was restored, and he walked outside. He had come out. Many people had seen Lin Xian in the restaurant that day, and they all cried out in alarm at this moment. An elder walked over and said with a gloomy expression, "Is it you who injured young Master Bai? Hurry up and apologize to young Master Bai." Someone next to him said, "Brat, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know who I am?" He was a member of the Pulsatilla clan. The Pulsatilla clan was a powerful clan that lived in the everlasting forest. Was it someone you could provoke? Yes, the ancestor of the Pulsatilla clan was in existence, known as the Limitless Immortal Elder. One voice after another resounded. It was clear that the other party was very famous. No one was optimistic about Lin Xian's chances. Some even sneered and told Lin Xian to go down and apologize. The two people from the Alchemy Kingdom also came over. The little scholar shook his head and sighed after seeing this scene. He is too young. He didn't even know the identity of the enemy before acting rashly. I'm afraid he is dead this time. That young man said. Sister, do you want to help him? The little scholar became anxious after hearing this. You have to call me big brother when you are outside. Do you hear me? The young man smiled bitterly and shook his head. He is my big brother. Do you want to save him? No matter what, he was still a top-notch genius. Very well, tell him that if he is willing to work for me for 100 years, I will consider saving his life. The young man nodded and walked over. Little brother, my name is Yao Qin. You have provoked a very powerful person. My big brother can save you, but you have to work for our clan for 100 years. What do you think? It is a good deal. The surrounding people were surprised. It seemed that this young man's background was not ordinary. They all looked at Yao Qin. Lin Xian smiled and glanced at the little scholar. The little scholar raised his chin and had a look that said, Hurry up and agree. No need, I don't care about these people. I can deal with them with a wave of my hand. No need to trouble you. With that, Lin Xian walked forward with both hands behind his back. Yao Qin recognized him. The little scholar behind him was even more surprised and his expression sank. Damn guy, who do you think you are? This princess wanted to save you out of kindness, but you don't appreciate it. Damn it! The surrounding people widened their eyes. Could it be that this brat also had a great background? No way, they couldn't see through his identity. Could it be that he was very strong? How strong could a young man be? I know that there are great saints outside. Hearing this, many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Even if you are a top genius, can you fight against a great saint? They didn't think so. Even if you can you defeat the entire Pulsatilla clan? Therefore, this brat is dead meat. Yao Qin came back and sighed. Sister, he didn't listen. The little scholar gritted his teeth. Damn it, let's go. I want to see where he got the confidence to refuse me. She also prepared to go over. The brother and sister also walked over. Lin Xian walked at the front. When the guard saw this, his eyes shone with a fierce light. Brat, you finally came out? Quickly kneel down and accept your death. Bai Cangxing also jumped out and gritted his teeth. Brat, you didn't expect me to come back, right? You actually dared to break one of my arms and legs and throw me out? I will torture you to death bit by bit. I will make you live a life worse than death for 1,000 years. His eyes shone with terrifying killing intent. Chapter 49-38. Are you done? Lin Xian said with a smile. If you're done, kneel down and kowtow to me. You've wasted my time. Hearing this, the guards in front were stunned. Bai Cangxing was also stunned. He could not believe his ears. He had brought the strong cultivators of his family here, and this guy still dared to be so arrogant. Damn it, kill him! Immediately, someone walked forward. At this time, a middle-aged man also walked out. Kid, who are you exactly? How dare you offend our Pulsatilla clan? He felt that this guy might have some background. Lin Xian said indifferently. Just a rogue cultivator, come at me if you want to. Rogue cultivator, you're courting death. Don't blame us. Send him to hell. The middle-aged man waved his hand, and the strong cultivators in the surroundings walked over. A terrifying murderous aura swept across the 9 heavens. The people in the distance quickly retreated, leaving enough space. They only watched from afar, and no one was willing to help. Seeing this, the little scholar sighed. So it's a stubborn guy. Can a rogue cultivator stop this? She decided to save him. She stood out and said, Give me some face and stop this. Who are you? Bai Cangxing frowned. A cold glint appeared in the middle-aged man's eyes. The jade pendant was used to hide his aura. A white light flickered in his eyes. It seemed that his black pupils had disappeared. The next moment, the corners of his mouth curled up. So it's a little princess. Yao Qingwu's expression changed. The other party could see through this middle-aged man. He must have cultivated an extremely terrifying eye technique. Why, is he your cultivation partner? The middle-aged man asked with a smile. Yao Qingwu snorted. He's a friend I just met. But I can't bear to see you bully others. All right, I'll spare him for your sake. But he still has to kowtow to my nephew. Also, break his limbs, destroy his cultivation, and only let him live. As for you, come back with me for a month, and I'll let you go. Yao Qingwu's expression changed. Did he see through my identity? Then, it's definitely not as simple as an invitation. Thinking of some possibilities, her expression became extremely ugly. Let's go. Yao Qingwu snorted and turned to leave. The middle-aged man waved his hand, and his demonic aura formed a barrier, blocking her way. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Abominable, Yao Qingwu did not expect these Pulsatilla clan people to be so arrogant. Not only did they not save people, but they also threw themselves in. Her face darkened. How dare you attack us? Look at what this is. As she spoke, she waved her hand, and a token appeared in her hand. Clouds and mist were rolling on the token, and there was a group of black sunflowers emitting a mysterious glow. The middle-aged man's expression changed when he saw the medallion. He did not continue. Instead, he said, Sorry for offending you. As he spoke, he put away the barrier. The people in the distance cried out in surprise. It seemed like these two young people really did have some status. Let's go. Yao Qingwu proudly raised her chin. He wanted to leave with Lin Xian. The middle-aged man said, Wait, you two can leave, but he has to stay. What do you mean? Yao Qingwu turned her head, her beautiful eyes filled with anger. Her identity didn't work? The two of you are indeed extraordinary, and we don't dare to do anything to you. However, there's one thing that you must remember. This is not your world. This is the buried Emperor Star, the everlasting forest. We have the final say here. This kid injured my nephew. If we let him go just like that, what will others think of our Pulsatilla race? Therefore, he must stay. What do we have to do to make you let him go? Yao Qingwu gritted her teeth and said. Bai Cangxing stood out and said, Well, let him kneel down and I'll cripple his limbs. At the same time, give me his woman. After 10 years, I'll return her to him. Hearing this, the faces of the people in the distance became incomparably ugly. Could the woman that Bai Cangxing took a fancy to live for 10 years? Yao Qingwu's face became ugly. How could she agree to such conditions? Lin Xian's face also darkened. Dragons have reversed scales. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. As he spoke, he slapped over. Boom! Boom! This attack directly sent Bai Cangxing flying, and half of his face was shattered. Not only that, his body was covered with cracks. He was seriously injured in one move, and then his body was torn apart. The surrounding people went crazy, and the people of the Pulsatilla race were also stunned. How dare the other party attack them in front of them? You're courting death. The middle-aged man stood out. At this time, an old man at the back could no longer remain calm. Very good, young man. No one dares to challenge us anymore. As soon as he appeared, a terrifying great sage aura covered the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Everyone was terrified. A great sage had made his move. There were great sages in the war chariot. When they saw the old man, their pupils shrank. This great sage was not ordinary. He was a very young great sage in the Pulsatilla race. Moreover, the other party was very vicious. He would not send the enemy to hell until they were tortured to death. Kill him! Elder, kill him! Tear him into pieces! Bai Cangxing roared crazily. The old man stretched out his palm, and his eyes were shining. It seemed that he was about to make a move. Lin Xian sighed, and an extremely terrifying light appeared in his eyes. The Tianji map rotated, and the power of reincarnation appeared. Seal of life and death. Boom! Boom! Thunder fell from the void, and an extremely terrifying aura appeared. Everyone felt their scalp go numb. The people of the Pulsatilla race were so frightened that they almost knelt on the ground. The great sages in the war chariot also shrank their pupils. What a terrifying power! They did not know that it was Lin Xian who had used the soul eye technique. They thought that the Pulsatilla race's great sage had used some secret technique. But in the next moment, they were all dumbfounded. The old great sage of the Pulsatilla race froze, and a crazy struggle appeared in his eyes. But it disappeared in an instant. Buzz. He bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. Young master, please forgive me. What's going on? The surrounding people were stunned. The people of the Pulsatilla race also did not dare to believe it. Old Zhang, why did you bow to him? Shouldn't you kill him? Very well. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. He had used the seal of life and death just now. His current strength and soul were much stronger than the average great saint. Coupled with his unexpected attacks, he was able to defeat the great saint. The other party did not have any defense at all, and was instantly controlled by him. Now, he had become his puppet. As for how to deal with him, you can decide. Yes, I understand. The great sage replied respectfully. Then, he turned his head and looked at Bai Cangxing. Get over here, you reckless thing. Bai Cangxing knelt on the ground, his face full of despair. What was going on? The middle-aged man wanted to say something, but the great sage slapped him to the ground. You kneel too. The middle-aged man's legs broke with a plop. He knelt on the ground, and large cracks spread. His mind was blank, and he was completely stunned. Chapter 49-39. Quickly apologize to this young master. The great sage's voice came out. The surrounding people were stunned. The people of the Pulsatilla clan were even more stunned. Yao Qingwu and Bai Cangxing were also stunned. They looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. Did this guy have such a strange identity? The people in the distance were even more shocked. They seemed to have seen the most unbelievable thing. The young man they didn't think highly of actually had such a big background. Bai Cangxing and the middle-aged man were also scared. They quickly knelt on the ground and said, Young master, forgive us for not recognizing Mount Tai and offending you. Please have mercy. Kill them? Lin Xian said indifferently. No! The two kowtowed and begged for mercy. However, the old man waved his hand and directly destroyed their souls. The surrounding people were so scared that they knelt on the ground. He really killed them. That was too scary. I don't want to see you again. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite, Lin Xian said coldly. The others quickly nodded. The people of the Pulsatilla clan disappeared instantly. Lin Xian turned and entered the war chariot. Behind him, Yao Qingwu and Bai Cangxing followed. The others also retreated. They looked at Lin Xian with a trace of respect in their eyes. Even the great sages gasped. They knew that this person's identity was extremely unusual. They couldn't provoke him. Hey, who are you? Yao Qingwu asked. You are so powerful, but you didn't say anything. You made me worry for nothing. Lin Xian turned his head and smiled. Thank you for helping me. Lin Xian waved his hand and took out a bell. This is a sound transmission bell. When you are in danger in the future, take it out and send a sound transmission. I can save you once. After that, Lin Xian gave the bell to the other party and left. The other party was a good person. He didn't know the other party, but the other party was able to help him. He would repay the other party for this. Yao Qingwu took it and snorted softly. How could he leave just like that? This guy was too rude. Moreover, she didn't believe that she needed the other party to save her. Who was she? However, he still put the bell away. On the other side, Lin Xian entered the secret chamber. Xueqi asked with a smile. Has it been resolved? Lin Xian nodded, and the two of them rested again. After about 4 days, the war chariot finally stopped. This time, no one stopped them, and they arrived at their destination. Up ahead was a mountain range that released a strange radiance. This was precisely their destination. There was a valley in the mountain range, At this moment, many people were walking in that direction. Lin Xian and Xueqi also rushed over. However, when they arrived, they discovered that there was a formation inside, and it was sealed. There were 6 guards standing there, seemingly checking his identity. Some people entered, while others were stumped. They didn't seem to meet the requirements. Lin Xian frowned slightly. At this moment, a voice came from behind. Eh? You two are going to the valley too? Lin Xian didn't need to turn his head to know that it was Yao Qing Wu and the other person. Sure enough, 2 people walked over from behind. Lin Xian nodded. He came here for some matters. Well, let's go together. Yao Qing Wu and the other person walked forward, and they quickly took out their tokens and walked in. However, they were stopped when Lin Xian and the other person arrived. You two don't have a token, so you can't go in. No way. He came with us, and he is our friend. Can't we go in? Yao Qing Wu said. However, the guard shook his head. The situation was different now, and they couldn't go in unless they had a token. Was there no other way? Yao Chen frowned. The guard said that there was another way, and that was to break the formation and walk in. Break the formation by yourself. Yao Chen's expression became unsightly. The formation in this valley was so terrifying that even a great sage might not be able to break it. This was simply an impossible task. Lin Xian raised the corners of his mouth, and a smile appeared on his face. Oh, is that so? He walked forward, and his eyes shone with golden radiance. He stretched out his hand, and the principles revolved around his fingers. He pointed at the formation, and the whole formation shook violently. Was this lad going to break the formation? Some people also didn't go in. They had tried, but they all failed. Among them, there was even a great sage who didn't go in. At this moment, seeing this scene, he snorted. Even if this lad had a status that could scare away the Pulsatilla clan, it was impossible for him to enter the valley ahead. Not to mention breaking the formation. I think he will definitely fail this time. As soon as these words came out, the others nodded. They also didn't think that Lin Xian could break the formation. The 6 guards also shook their heads. They said so just to give face to Lin Xian. After all, those who could come here, even if they weren't qualified to enter, had an extraordinary status. They still had to give face to him. Ordinary people would find a way out after trying once, but this lad in front of them was so reckless. They watched with a sneer on their faces, but the next moment, they were stunned because they felt a crack in the formation, and a crack that was more than 2 meters high appeared. Lin Xian raised the corners of his mouth. It was broken. How was this possible? The 6 guards' eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was the first time that they had seen someone break the formation. However, they couldn't even speak clearly. Lin Xian pulled Xueqi, and the 2 of them walked into the formation through the crack. The people who had failed next to them were dumbfounded. Who was this lad? Was he a top-notch array master? However, he was too young. Were there any array masters recently? They thought about all the array masters, but they couldn't think of any one of them. It suited this lad's status. Yao Qing Wu and Xueqi also went in. After they went in, they walked toward a large hall in the distance. It seemed that they had something to do. The valley was very big, and there were some buildings. It was like a town. There were many people inside, and these people had extraordinary status and strength. Lin Xian and Xueqi looked around curiously as they walked. Naturally, they had come here to enter Spirit Realm. However, the Spirit Domain wasn't a place that just anyone could enter. They had to be qualified, and this qualification had to be obtained in the valley. Lin Xian waited patiently. After about half a day, a cry of surprise came from outside the valley. Then, the formation cracked open, and a group of people walked in. The other people hurried to welcome them, and someone said that the people from the medicine sect had come. Upon hearing this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The medicine sect, like the alchemy kingdom, were they from the medicine star? Did they also come here to enter the spirit domain? It seemed that Yao Qingwu and Xueqi had come here for the same purpose. However, why did the medicine sect need the spirit domain to welcome them? Lin Xian couldn't understand. Chapter 49-40. The medicine sect's group was led by an old man who had a terrifying aura. He was followed by many experts from the medicine sect. Apart from him, there was another group of people who were even more powerful than him. They were walking in front of the medicine sect. They were the members of the dragon race. Both of them were invited into the valley. Why are the members of the dragon race here? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Is this a coincidence? He suddenly remembered that the dragon prince was poisoned and injured. Did he come to the spirit realm to look for elixirs? That shouldn't be the case. The dragon prince was from an emperor clan. He had all kinds of resources. Why would he need to come here to look for elixirs? He didn't believe it. Of course, if this was true, then it would be too incredible. This meant that the dragon prince was seriously injured. Even the dragon race couldn't do anything about it. Interesting. Lin Xian sneered. The dragon prince was really unlucky. Then, a middle-aged man walked out of the main hall in the valley and said loudly, "Everyone must have come here with a goal, right? I know everyone's goal. This time, there are 5 people who can enter the spirit realm. You must cherish them. Each person can bring 5 people with them." Many people went into an uproar when they heard this. Someone asked, "Senior, weren't there 10 people in the past? Why are there only 5 people this time?" The middle-aged man in the valley clasped his hands behind his back and said proudly, "That was in the past. Now there are only 5 people. If you are not satisfied, you can leave. The spirit realm won't force you." When he said this, the valley quieted down. Someone laughed and said, "Senior, please don't be angry. Why would we blame you? If there are only 5 people, we will naturally understand." Very good. Now, who wants the first person? Xueqi looked puzzled. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "Let's wait and see first." They didn't act rashly. At this time, an old man walked out and said with a smile, "I have a jade pendant from ancient times. Senior, please take a look." As he spoke, he took out a jade pendant. The jade pendant was purple. It was as big as a palm and had a mysterious aura engraved on it. When it appeared, it shone brightly. Even Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It was a good item. The man from the spirit realm nodded his head. "What is this?" A burly man snorted and walked out as well. These people were all great sages. Their auras were terrifying, and as they moved, the entire world shook. He took out a huge black seal, which had 4 black dragons coiling around each other. It was very mysterious. As soon as this thing appeared, a dragon's roar sounded out, causing countless people to cry out in alarm. In the distant Great Hall, the people of the dragon race also walked out. "This is the treasure of our dragon race, right? It was actually obtained by someone else. He had to get it." A few people whispered to each other. In addition, the people from the medicine sect were also watching. Yao Qingwu and Yao Qingyu were also watching from another hall. From the looks of it, they didn't even need to make a move. They had already obtained the qualifications. At this moment, a woman walked out and took out a scroll. When she opened it, it was a painting. There was a red light flickering in the painting, which also gave off a mysterious aura. The 3 of them fought for the first spot. In the end, the burly man succeeded. He used the black dragon ancient jade in his hand to exchange for the first spot. The others were envious. Lin Xian also understood. It seemed like this auction was similar to an auction. The only difference was that the spots were auctioned, and it depended on who had the best items. Xueqi also heaved a sigh. This was really a profitable venture. Was a spot to enter the spirit realm so precious? She could see that the treasures that were taken out would make even great sages jealous. The spirit realm held such an auction every once in a while. It was obvious that they were very rich. In the distance, when the people of the dragon race saw that the black dragon ancient jade was taken away by the people of the spirit realm, their eyes flickered. Some people wanted to go, but an old man said, "It's okay. It's not a good time to show up. We can discuss it with the people of the spirit realm in secret after the auction." After that, the second spot was auctioned. This time, there were more people. In the end, it was obtained by an old woman. When the third spot was auctioned, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He felt that he should bid for it. This time, there were more people bidding for it. There were a total of 8 people, and each of them brought back an extraordinary treasure. One of them even took out a furnace. It was a man with a mustache, and he was holding a furnace in his hand. There was a fiery figure sitting on it, and it looked very mysterious. "This furnace is called the sky-burning furnace," the mustached man said. "I got it by chance. There are many top-notch alchemists in the spirit realm, and if we can get this sky-burning furnace, we will be able to refine pills successfully." The eyes of the spirit realm's expert in the front lit up when he heard this. The other people had a bad feeling about this. At this time, another woman stepped forward and said, "I also have something here." She took out an ancient book. It was tattered, but she kept it carefully. This book was left behind by a super expert 60,000 years ago. He carried this ancient book with him all the time, and it contained his supreme aura. If one could comprehend it, they would be able to improve their great Tao. Many people were surprised, and even the mustache man's expression changed. It could be seen that this item was extraordinary. Xueqi was worried, and she looked at Lin Xian. "Are you confident?" To be honest, although the treasures they had were good, they were still inferior to this item. She even doubted whether it would take them so much effort to get a spot. She felt like she was losing money. When the people next to them saw this, they said, "This is your first time here, so you don't know the rules of the spirit realm. Those who got a spot could enter the spirit realm, and they could also get a spirit herb or an elixir in the spirit realm. Many people even went to the spirit realm to ask for an elixir, so they were willing to pay any price." After Xueqi heard this, she understood that it wasn't just a spot, but also an elixir in the spirit realm. It was no wonder that these people were so crazy. She became even more worried. Lin Xian just smiled. It didn't matter, as he was confident in himself. When he saw that no one was taking out treasures, Lin Xian walked out and said with a smile, "I have something here." It was him. When they saw Lin Xian, many people were surprised. They had seen with their own eyes that Lin Xian had torn open the formation and walked in. This showed that this youth wasn't simple. They wondered what he could take out. Some people shook their heads. Although this youth wasn't simple, everyone here was an expert. They were afraid that he couldn't take out anything better than the others. Yao Qingwu and the other woman were also confused. What kind of treasure could this arrogant youth take out? Under everyone's gaze, Lin Xian waved his hand and a stalk of spiritual medicine appeared in his hand. Chapter 49-41. Spirit Herbs. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people's expressions became extremely strange. Some of them even couldn't help but laugh. This kid's brain was flooded with water. Why did he have to send spirit herbs? One had to know that the spirit realm didn't lack spirit herbs. In front, the experts of the spirit realm also darkened their faces. Was this kid here to cause trouble? The small bearded man who took out the furnace also laughed. "Kid, don't tell me you think your spirit herbs are better than the ones in the spirit realm? If so, why did you enter the spirit realm?" Another woman in red also laughed. If this kid couldn't take out a treasure, he should just stand aside and watch obediently. Don't slap the fatty's face here. Everyone burst into laughter. In the distance, Yao Qingwu also frowned. This kid, why did he always do such unreliable things? Everyone was laughing. Lin Xian looked calm. He looked in front and said, "Senior, why don't we take a look first?" There was no need to look. The expert of the spirit realm shook his head. He didn't believe that there was a place with better spirit herbs than theirs. Even Medicine Star couldn't. So, he ignored him. The others shook their heads. This kid wanted to get away with it. How could it be possible? He was too naive. Lin Xian's face also darkened. He didn't say anything. Instead, he waved his hand and a force ran on the spirit herb. Suddenly, the spirit herb shone and the fragrance of medicine floated out. The smiles of the surrounding people froze and then disappeared. They all widened their eyes and looked in front of them in disbelief. Even the eyes of the expert of the spirit realm shrank. This was? He turned his head and a terrifying light burst out from his eyes. He stared at Lin Xian like lightning. Lin Xian waved his hand and put away the spirit herb. "Cheer, let's go." Then, the two of them turned to leave. "Wait!" The expert of the spirit realm shouted. Lin Xian stopped and turned his head with a smile. "Senior, what else do you want? Where's your spirit herb? Take it out and have a look." Lin Xian smiled. "How could my spirit herb be better than the one in the spirit realm? I was too naive before." With that, he continued walking. Everyone had strange expressions on their faces. They felt like they had been slapped in the face. They really couldn't laugh now. The aura coming from it was something they had never seen before. What kind of spirit medicine was this? Why did it feel so mysterious? The expression of the expert from spirit realm also darkened. How dare the other party put on airs in front of him? However, he quickly retracted his cold gaze and walked forward. He smiled again and said, "Sir, please wait. I don't know where you got this spirit herb, but your spirit herb is very good. It can be exchanged for a qualification." As soon as these words were spoken, countless people were in an uproar. The faces of the man with the mustache and the woman in a red shirt turned incredibly unpleasant. They had taken out their best treasures in order to obtain the right to enter the spirit realm, but now, they had all been defeated by the other party. Didn't this senior have no time? Or not? Lin Xian continued. The expert from spirit realm gritted his teeth. He wanted to slap this kid to death, but he was too curious. He smiled and said, "Sir, please forgive my bad attitude. This way, please." He invited Lin Xian to the side. "Servants, come and take a seat." Soon, people from the valley came to serve Lin Xian. Lin Xian sat down and smiled. "Senior, do you really want to see it?" The spirit realm expert nodded. Lin Xian waved his hand and took out the spirit herb. After the spirit realm expert took it, his eyes shone brightly. He sucked in a breath of cold air. Where did Sir get this spirit herb? The surrounding people were also shocked. It seemed that this spirit herb was something extraordinary. Lin Xian said that this was the only one he had obtained from an ancient ruin. "I also think that this thing is magical, but it doesn't seem to be useful to me, so I want to exchange it for something useful to me in the spirit realm." After Lin Xian's explanation, the others understood. For example, if you gave a young person a spirit herb that could prolong his life, to be honest, although it was precious, it was not as good as giving him a spirit herb that could increase his cultivation immediately. Humans were just that realistic. Therefore, everyone could understand why Lin Xian wanted to exchange this precious spirit herb for the right to enter the spirit realm. "I wonder where the ancient ruins that young master spoke of are located?" the spirit race elder asked. It seemed that he was not going to give up, Lin Xian said with a smile. It had been too long, and he had forgotten that it was not in this world. It was in another star. The spirit realm expert sighed. The universe was vast. If he was just passing by without the coordinates, he would not be able to find it in his entire life. Of course, there was another possibility, and that was that the kid in front of him was not telling the truth. He did not care and did not continue to ask. She would keep the spirit herb first and discuss it with the grand elders. As for this kid, it would not be too late to ask him when he was going to enter the spirit realm. After that, Lin Xian and the others were invited to a large hall. The last 2 spots were auctioned. After the auction, the other 2 people got the spots. Other than Lin Xian, the other 4 people who got the spots were assigned 5 people each. Some knew each other, and some had just formed a team. After all, they could continue to auction these spots. Lin Xian's team also had people come over and took out amazing treasures. There was no other way. Lin Xian's team only had 2 people, and there were 3 empty spots. In other words, 3 people could use this opportunity to enter. Naturally, they would not miss it. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. To be honest, he did not want to agree, but he felt that someone was secretly watching him. Humph! After thinking about it, he sneered. What, did someone have their eyes on his treasures? It seemed that some people were not willing to give up. Since that was the case, he would let those people know what regret was. Lin Xian said that the 3 spots would be given to whoever took out the best item. In the end, 3 people were chosen. One was the mustached man, and the other was the red-clothed woman. These 2 people had competed with Lin Xian before, but they had lost. However, they had given their treasures to Lin Xian, and they had become Lin Xian's teammates. The last person was a gray-haired old man. His palms were like the claws of a great rock. His name was Bihi. The treasures he had given out were also extraordinary. Lin Xian put away the 3 treasures and said, "When the time comes, follow me." Lin Xian and Xueqi stayed in the best room in the hall. Lin Xian and Xueqi stayed in the best room. The other people stayed in a corner of the hall. The 3 of them did not care about it. After they entered and left the formation, Xueqi said, "I think they have bad intentions." Chapter 49-42. Xueqi was quite smart, and she could guess what they were thinking just by looking at their expressions. Lin Xian frowned and sighed. It seems like I underestimated the might of that spirit herb. In all honesty, this spirit herb was the worst one he had ever planted in the Forest Spirit Valley. However, he still managed to shock these people. Lin Xian knew that he couldn't take out such a spirit herb in the future. The sword world was too mysterious, and it wasn't something other people could imagine. He knew that these people had their eyes on him, and they wanted to know more about the secret of the mysterious spirit herb. They even wanted to attack him. Lin Xian wasn't afraid of them, and he wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of these people so that the secret wouldn't be leaked. Lin Yuan and Xueqi knew that someone was going to attack him, so they started resting. They adjusted themselves to their peak state and prepared to attack at any time. During this period, Yao Qingwu and the middle-aged man came over to chat with Lin Xian, but they didn't meet him. Yao Qingwu left angrily. "Why is this guy so arrogant? He dares to not meet me. Hateful." The 3 people in the hall looked at Yao Qingwu's back as she left. The small mustached man sneered coldly, while the red-clothed woman and the gray-haired old man squinted their eyes. They weren't the only ones, as people in the other halls were also discussing this matter. The medicine sect's people were gathered together. "Did you see the spirit herb that the lad took out?" an elder asked. Another person said that it was very mysterious, and he said that he had never sensed its aura before. He didn't know where the lad got it. Did he really only have one? When the time comes, we will capture him and ask him where he found it, and we will go there to look for it. It was obvious that the medicine sect was also preparing to attack him. It was the same for the dragon race. They had already sent out 2 groups of people. One group was going to look for the spirit zone's experts, and use other treasures to exchange for the black dragon seal. This was the dragon race's item, and only they could use it to its fullest potential. Moreover, the treasures they took out were very good, so the spirit zone's experts agreed to it. As for the other group of people, their eyes flickered. The spirit herb in the lad's hand was very strange, and they wondered if they should investigate it. The leading elder said, "We have an important mission this time, and we don't need to care about other matters. However, It won't be a problem to send someone to investigate it. I'll go. A man walked out. This person also had an extremely terrifying dragon chi on him. The leading elder nodded and said, he took the black dragon seal and refined it. It might be useful when the time came. Undercurrents were surging among the various forces. The eyes of the spirit realm expert were also flashing. He stood in a pavilion with his hands behind his back and looked at the sky. Night was coming, he said calmly. A young man beside him asked, Master, don't we need to prepare anything? The experts of Spirit Realm laughed. Don't worry, this is our territory. If they succeed, we can just get some information from them. If they don't succeed, that kid will also enter Spirit Realm. At that time, we can naturally make preparations. His master was wise. The young man smiled. The night was dark. In the room, Lin Xian opened his eyes. They're here. Xueqi nodded and took a deep breath. She couldn't help but wonder. Does he have a death wish? She asked. Do I need to hold back? There was no need. Xueqi understood this, and she stood up. Boom! Their formation shattered, and several figures appeared. The first ones to appear were 3 people. They were the 3 people who had become Lin Xian's teammates. They were the small mustached man, the red-clothed woman, and the gray-haired old man. Lin Xian smiled and said, You 3, why did you come to visit me in the middle of the night and break my formation? Young man, there are some things I want to ask you. The red-clothed woman smiled and said, You must answer me truthfully. I guarantee that you will be satisfied. The small mustached man snorted coldly and said, Tell me the location where you got the mysterious spirit herb. The gray-haired old man also smiled. Do you really only have one spirit herb? Give us your storage ring and we will check it. Xueqi snorted coldly. The small mustached man smiled, and his eyes shone with a cold light. I want this woman. He had never seen such a beautiful woman before. Kid, you are not a match for the 3 of us. So, you better surrender. That way, you can have a complete corpse. Lin Xian ignored them. He looked at the sky with his hands behind his back and said calmly, Since you are here, why don't you come out? The small mustached man and the other 2 were stunned. There are more people? A cold snort transmitted from the void. Kid, you are quite clear. How did you discover us? 3 people streaked across the sky and arrived. The red-clothed woman exclaimed in surprise. The medicine sect and the dragon clan have also come. The gray-haired old man smiled. It seems like we are not the only ones here. Since this is the case, let's cooperate. No matter what he said, he just wanted to maintain his status. After all, the dragon clan was extremely terrifying. If they joined hands with the medicine sect and drove them out, they would get nothing. The small mustached man and the red-clothed woman were also nervous, and they looked at the dragon clan's member. The dragon clan's expert, who was clad in blue armor, nodded. Okay, you can attack, and I will give you a share of the information. The gray-haired old man smiled and stretched out his palm. A demonic beast's claw grabbed at Lin Xian. The small mustached man also attacked Xueqi. In an instant, their power erupted. They wanted to defeat their enemy with a single move. After all, they were in the spirit domain's territory. Boom! Deep sounds echoed out. The gray-haired old man was beaten back, and ice appeared on the small mustached man's body. His expression became unsightly. Darn it! These 2 are top-notch geniuses. It seems like I will have to use my full power, and I will probably alarm the spirit domain's members. The red-clothed woman smiled. She took out a red gourd. This was a spatial treasure, and no one would know that they were fighting inside it. Collect! The red-clothed woman sneered coldly, and the red gourd shone brightly. Its spatial power engulfed everyone. The world spun, and they arrived in the gourd's world. There was nothing around them. Great! They could use their full power now. The gray-haired old man snorted coldly, and the small mustached man also sneered coldly. Little beauty, you are still a peerless genius. I have decided to make you my cauldron. The gray-haired old man turned into a bolt of lightning and dashed over. The small mustached man was a fire demon. Terrifying flames burst out of his eyes, and they turned into a heaven and earth cauldron that pressed down on Xueqi. When he attacked before, he knew that Xueqi was an ice element martial artist. In his opinion, it was just a casual attack, and that was why she was frozen. Now, he attacked her with his full power, and her ice would surely melt. Xueqi sneered coldly as she faced his attack. Was her ice just ordinary ice? It was the 9-in icy ice. She waved her hand and unleashed the 9-in divine claw. A black claw streaked across the sky, and everyone was startled. The smile on the small mustached man's face disappeared. This claw had shattered his heaven and earth cauldron, and it tore his body apart. Puff! The small mustached man spouted blood and retreated. Chapter 49-43. Was he defeated? The surrounding people were stunned. They really did not expect that the little bearded fire demon would actually be defeated. One had to know, they were all clear about the little bearded man's strength. Even if they were strong, their individual strength was probably not stronger than the other party. But now, he was actually defeated in one move. This woman was a little terrifying. Hongling, you go and help the fire demon. I'll suppress this kid. The gray-haired old man shouted angrily. The woman in red nodded and took out a ribbon. Like a rainbow, it swept forward. The fire demon also roared at the sky. The flames on his body condensed, healing his injuries. He was completely enraged. You actually dared to hurt me. I'll make you pay the price. The two of them charged over again. On the other side, the gray-haired old man's big hand also arrived in front of Lin Xian, directly grabbing at Lin Xian's head. Lin Xian laughed coldly and struck out with a palm. A golden lion, blotting out the sky and covering the earth, let out a heaven-shaking roar. Everyone's blood boiled. That old man's pupils constricted. Not good, he underestimated this person. He did not expect this young man to be so terrifying. He wanted to change his move again, but it was already too late. He could only grit his teeth and roar angrily, displaying his divine ability to the extreme. His palm transformed into a golden rock. The battle between the fearless lion and the golden rock. It should be able to block it. That old man prepared to block this move and send people to suppress the other party together. But he was too naive. Lin Xian's attack hit the fearless lion's seal. This was an ultimate skill that could block the Dragon Prince's incarnation. Even if this old man was a great sage, he could not block it. In an instant, his hand shattered, turning into a bloody mist. A scream sounded. The old man retreated. The fearless lion pounced forward, directly tearing his body apart. No! He let out a final scream. His soul dissipated into thin air, a rain of blood falling. The surrounding people were stunned, even their bodies turned cold. What did they see? A great sage was killed with a palm. Who exactly was this young man? Who were you? The two powerhouses of the medicine sect roared. The two of them walked up together. The dragon race powerhouse also frowned. This move was so strange and terrifying. It seemed that he was going to make a move. Do it quickly. Suddenly, their expressions changed because they discovered that the fire demon and Hong Ling had been frozen. There were many cracks on his body, and it looked like he was about to die. If the icy woman joined forces with them, they might not be able to suppress them. Therefore, they decided to kill the kid in front of them first. Light appeared on the hands of the two elders from the medicine sect as they struck out with their palms. His palm was laced with poison. If a great sage was struck by this palm, he would be poisoned and his entire body would fester. The expert of the dragon clan waved his hand and threw out a saber. The aura of the law of dragon and the law of water condensed. With a slash of the saber, everything was destroyed. Lin Xian smirked coldly as he struck out with both palms. Two golden lions surged out with a force that could topple mountains and overturn seas, causing the void to shatter continuously. The faces of the two elders from the medicine sect turned ugly. They regretted their actions. This man was simply too strong. He was so strong that he defied the heavens. Under the golden lion's attack, the two men's poisonous palms were shattered into pieces. They had tasted despair. In an instant, it vanished into thin air. Did they die? The pupils of the Dragon Clan's expert contracted. His attack had also been shattered. He spat out a large mouthful of blood as countless cracks appeared on his body. His face was filled with fright. Before coming here, he had thought that this would be an easy battle. However, the current situation had exceeded his expectations. At this critical juncture, he took out a black seal. It was the black dragon seal that he had just obtained. He used the black dragon seal to protect his head and avoid this peerless attack. However, his body had already been shattered, and only his head remained. On the other side, Xueqi had also finished her battle. The two great sages had been turned into ice cubes and scattered on the ground. Their souls had also been completely destroyed. In the blink of an eye, only one of the 7 great sages was left alive. Moreover, he was severely injured. The pupils of the Dragon Clan's expert contracted. He tore open the void and wanted to escape. Xueqi snorted coldly as she waved her hand, causing the surrounding world to freeze. His head was knocked back by the power of the ice, and he returned. He gnashed his teeth and roared. "Do you dare to attack me? I'm from the Dragon Clan, and the experts of the Dragon Clan are nearby." "Is the Dragon Clan very powerful?" Lin Xian sneered coldly. "Wasn't the Dragon Prince's incarnation killed by me?" "What? You? Who are you?" The Dragon Clan's expert roared in fright. He was really shocked. The death of the Dragon Prince's incarnation was a great blow to him. However, the person in front of him said that he was the one who killed it. "Could it be that you are from the Heavenly Court? Are you that mad god?" He was in despair. Shouldn't the mad god be a terrifying expert? They had guessed countless times that he might be a veteran expert. However, they didn't expect that he would be a young man in front of them. Bingo! The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. "Your reward is to search my soul." Terrifying flames burst out of his eyes. "Not good. I have to leave this place quickly and spread this news. I have to tell the ancestor that the mad god is a top-notch genius." He is an existence that can compete with the Thearka's son. If he was allowed to grow, the future situation would be unimaginable. The aura of the Dragon Clan's path on his body burned. It was obvious that he was going to go all out. A pair of divine eyes looked down on him, and his soul instantly burned. He screamed miserably. "Cheer, freeze the black seal. I will collect his soul," Lin Xian said. Xueqi nodded, and the 9 divine claws flew over. The black dragon print shone brightly as it used its terrifying black dragon secret technique. Dragon shadows swirled around the sky, but they were still gradually frozen. On the other side, Lin Xian went to the head and started searching his soul. The Dragon Clan's expert couldn't resist the heavenly secret divine eyes. His soul was completely collected and turned into ashes. "How is it?" Xueqi walked over and asked. Lin Xian said that they came here because of the Dragon Prince's injuries. "Is the Dragon Prince's injuries that serious? What kind of injuries are they?" Xueqi was shocked. Lin Xian said that he didn't know. Only the core elders knew about it. This person didn't know. However, they really came to the spirit realm to find a way to cure the Dragon Prince's injuries. It seems like the Dragon Prince's situation is quite dangerous. Then should we intercept them? Xueqi suggested. Lin Xian thought for a moment, and shook his head. We don't need to care about them. We have our own goals for coming here. Lin Xian originally wanted to kill them, but after thinking about it, he decided against it. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was too powerful. Even if he killed them, more experts would come. Moreover, if the Dragon Prince's life was really in danger, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would go crazy, and they might even bring their imperial weapons. If that happened, he wouldn't be able to go to the spirit realm to look for life-prolonging spirit herbs. This wasn't in line with his goals. So, Lin Xian decided to ignore the Dragon Prince for now. This black dragon seal is quite good, and it needs the aura of the Dragon Dao to use it. It's quite suitable for me. Lin Xian took the black dragon seal and said with a smile, "Cheer, I'll give you the red gourd." Xueqi nodded. After they came out, Lin Xian started to refine the black dragon seal, and Xueqi started to refine the spatial gourd. Chapter 49-44. An elder from the medicine sect who was in a large hall had an extremely ugly look on his face. "Our people have fallen. Damn it, what's going on? Did the dragons make a move during the battle?" They were shocked. They guessed that they were not the only ones who wanted to make a move. Perhaps someone had secretly ambushed their people while they were fighting for information. He could only suffer this loss by himself. They didn't dare to cause trouble for the Dragon Clan. However, the members of the Dragon Clan had come knocking on their door. The powerful cultivators from the Dragon Clan had cold looks on their faces as they stared at the members of the medicine sect. The medicine sect was shocked. "Fellow Taoists, what was the meaning of this?" The dragon race expert snorted coldly and took a step forward. Around him, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. "You dared to kill a member of my Dragon Clan? What was the meaning of this?" The medicine sect elder was stunned. "Fellow Taoists, please calm down. What is going on? What's going on?" The dragon race's expert snorted coldly. "We sent someone to ask about that brat, but now his soul jade tablet has been destroyed. He was dead. Did you send anyone there? You still dare to say that you didn't do it? What?" The elders of the medicine sect were stunned as well. They never thought that a powerful cultivator from the Dragon Clan would fall as well. One of the elders said, "It's a misunderstanding. We did send people, but they also died." As they spoke, they took out 2 soul jade tablets. These were the soul jade tablets of the 2 elders. Both of them were broken. With a single look, the powerful being of the dragon race knew that the other party was not lying. However, his brows furrowed even tighter. If it wasn't the medicine sect, then who could it be? Was it someone else? Humph, I want to see who dares to make a move against my Dragon Clan. They didn't pursue the matter any further. They would know the truth when they saw who had left the next day. However, when Lin Xian and Xueqi came out the next day, the people of the medicine sect were stunned. The people of the dragon race were also stunned. How was it possible that the other party was still alive? Then how did the experts they sent out die? The members of the medicine sect secretly investigated the situation at the thought of this, while the members of the Dragon Clan immediately approached Lin Xian. "You're still alive?" Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. "What do you mean by that? Could it be that you think I'm dead for sure? Did you try to assassinate me?" The moment these words were spoken, the other people in the valley all turned their gazes over. Yesterday's battle took place inside the spatial gourd, so the people outside didn't know about it. However, they thought that someone would make a move. The experts of the dragon race were depressed. What could they say? They sent a great sage to assassinate a young man? If word got out, he would lose all his face. When Lin Xian saw the other party, he remained silent and smiled. "If there's nothing else, I'll let you block me from the sun." Lin Xian looked into the distance and smiled. The sun was really good today. Damn it! The members of the Dragon Clan gnashed their teeth. Could it be that these 2 youngsters had killed their experts instead? Although he wasn't sure, this was the only conclusion he could come up with. They wanted to attack. Lin Xian sneered. "What? Are you trying to kill me?" Should he spread the news of what happened here and let the world see how the dragon race bullied the young? Are you courting death? The dragon clan expert shouted angrily. Mr. Zhang, who was leading the group, shouted angrily, and they all came back. The members of the dragon clan were not satisfied and asked, "Why did the elder ask us to come back? It's just a kid, we can just kill him." This kid was very strange. Now that he was alive, it meant that he had a trump card. If the news of what happened here spread and others knew that we were here, what do you think those people will think? If we attract the Kunping Z and the Fire Qilin to stop us, the Dragon Prince's life would be in danger. The pupils of the others shrank. The elder was right. We understand. Our main goal is to treat the Dragon Prince's illness. It's good that you know, the leading elder said coldly. As for that kid, he also went to the spirit domain and can't run away. When we're done, we'll kill him. The members of the Dragon Clan quieted down and didn't find trouble with Lin Xian. Naturally, they wouldn't go to the medicine sect. However, they didn't find anything after investigating. The experts of the spirit domain were also surprised. He actually avoided it. It seemed that this young man wasn't simple. Fortunately, they didn't act rashly. They waited for another day. On the third day, they set off for the medicine sect. Lin Xian met Yao Qingwu again. Yao Qingwu snorted. "Kid, you're too arrogant. You didn't even see me yesterday." Lin Xian sighed. "You miss me when you don't see me for a day?" Yao Qingwu blushed instantly. "You're despicable. If you talk nonsense again, I'll tear your mouth apart." Shuiqi, who was beside her, also chuckled. "Little sister, don't hide it. We all know that you're a little princess." Yao Qingwu gritted her teeth. She thought that she could hide it from everyone, but now it seemed that everyone knew that she was a little princess. She snorted. She was very depressed. Lin Xian said, "You're from the Medicine Star, right? Do you need to come to the spirit domain with your status?" At the side, Yao Chen sighed. "Although our Medicine Star has many spirit herbs, it is still lacking compared to the spirit realm. Moreover, the Medicine Star doesn't have what we need this time." Yao Qingwu didn't say much, and Lin Xian didn't ask. Everyone had secrets. He had secrets, and so did the other party. They left the valley and continued to walk forward. The spirit domain's expert took out a big flag and covered everyone's eyes and souls. They knew that he didn't want them to find the coordinates. So, they didn't check it. Lin Xian's eyes shone. He could see a blurry scene. The dragon race's expert also took out an ancient mirror and hid it in his sleeve to check it. Outside, the spirit domain's expert saw them. He covered them with the flag and continued to fly. They flew for about a month. Finally, he stopped. Along the way, he had been going back and forth. Presumably, these people were not able to tell the exact location. He formed a hand seal and pressed it toward the void. The space started to shake, and a spatial vortex appeared. The spirit domain's expert entered with the flag. The space closed. After entering, the spirit domain's expert waved his hand and removed the flag. He smiled and said, "Everyone, you can go now." The people around heaved a sigh of relief. They looked around and found that they weren't in the everlasting mountain range. The heaven and earth spirit energy here was really extraordinary. There were spirit herbs everywhere. Even those that were extinct outside could be found here. The medicine sect's people exclaimed. Yao Qingwu and Yao Qingwu were also amazed. Even Lin Xian nodded. This place was stronger than the Medicine Star, and it wasn't weaker than his Four Spirit Valley. Of course, the Four Spirit Valley was still developing, but the spirit domain had been established for tens of thousands of years. The time difference between the two was too big. However, Lin Xian believed that as long as he obtained more resources, the Four Spirit Valley and the entire Sword World would become stronger than the spirit domain. "Everyone, please follow me." The spirit domain's expert in front led the way. The group followed. The dragon race's expert quietly put away the ancient mirror and smiled. Then, an elder flicked his finger, and a dragon aura poured into the ground below. Chapter 49-45. After they entered, the people of the spirit realm came to receive Lin Xian and the others. Of course, the people of the dragon race were the most important. Lin Xian and the others were also received along the way. After the banquet, everyone went to rest. After they entered the spirit realm, they could stay in the spirit realm for a month. Therefore, they could choose a good spirit herb. After that, Lin Xian and Shuiqi started to tour the spirit realm. The spirit realm was very big, and they couldn't see the end of it. However, they weren't qualified to enter some of the core areas. They could only walk in some mountain ranges and forests of the spirit realm. However, they still saw many precious spirit herbs. Of course, they couldn't pick them casually. They had to report to the spirit realm first and get permission to do so. Otherwise, they would be killed on the spot if they tried to steal spirit herbs. Some people didn't believe them, and they tried to steal them. Soon, people found out about it. Some of these spirit herbs had cultivated into demonic beasts, and they were in charge of guarding them. Therefore, the people of the spirit realm were being monitored. "My husband, what are you looking for?" After they walked for several days, Shuiqi was also surprised. During this time, she also saw some good pills. However, Lin Xian didn't even look at them. After they returned, she couldn't help but ask. Lin Xian asked her if she knew about the legend of the spirit realm. Shuiqi nodded. She knew about it. The spirit realm was very famous, and the immortal divine medicine had once appeared here. After she said this, she sucked in a breath of cold air. "Did you come here for the immortal divine medicine?" After all, Lin Xian's goal was to become a great emperor. Therefore, it was normal for him to want to find the immortal divine medicine. Lin Xian shook his head. "The immortal divine medicine was too far away for me." However, it wasn't a divine medicine. The most famous thing in the spirit realm was the divine tree of life. That's right, the divine tree of life. It was the foundation of the spirit realm, and it had lived for tens of thousands of years. It was said that it could bring the dead back to life. It had mysterious effects. "My husband, you didn't come here for the divine tree of life, did you?" Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. "That's right. If I can't find any other divine medicine that can prolong my life, then I can only ask for the divine tree of life." However, it was too difficult. Shuiqi sighed. The divine tree of life wasn't something that anyone could use in the spirit realm. This was an extremely precious item. The divine fruit of life produced by the divine tree of life was extremely rare. Furthermore, it would only appear once every few thousand years. It could be said that even spirit realm didn't have enough to share. It was impossible for anyone else to do so. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Let's wait and see. There were still more than 20 days left. Was there any other way to investigate? If not, then he had to obtain a divine fruit of life at all costs. He had to save Xia Jiuyo. According to Lin Xian's deduction, even if he couldn't obtain the divine fruit of life, he could at least obtain some tree leaves or tree trunks. After all, he had the Sword World, so he could use all the power of the Four Spirit Valley to provide it to the Tree of Life. Of course, this was only possible if Spirit Realm was willing to do so. If they weren't, then he would have to use his own methods. Spirit Realm had existed for a long time, and it was much more terrifying than ordinary remote antiquity families. Although it wasn't as powerful as the remote antiquity imperial clans, it was still very terrifying. Lin Xian was strong now, and he didn't care about ordinary great saints. However, he couldn't face an entire remote antiquity family. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't want to use his methods unless it was absolutely necessary. After a few more days, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He thought of a possibility. The Dragon Prince was seriously injured and poisoned. He was in a very dangerous situation. These people of the dragon race were here to ask for medicine. What kind of medicine were they asking for? Lin Xian guessed that the Dragon Prince was fighting with Kun Pengzi for the throne. Now that he was suppressed and seriously injured, he couldn't afford to waste time. Therefore, it was possible that they were here to ask for the divine fruit of life. Therefore, he paid special attention to these people of the dragon race. On this day, another banquet was held in Spirit Realm. Some people had already asked for the divine fruit of life. Therefore, all they needed to do was to have a good time here. However, Lin Xian and the people of the dragon race hadn't asked for the divine fruit of life yet. Lin Xian then saw Yao Qingwu and the other girl. Both of them had a solemn expression on their faces. He wondered what had happened. It was the expert of the spirit race who led the way. At the banquet, he said with a smile, "Lin Gongzi, can you tell me in detail where you got the divine fruit of life?" Lin Xian said with a smile. "Actually, it happened a long time ago. I don't remember it clearly. However, I heard that there is a divine tree of life in Spirit Realm. Can you tell us about this legend?" Hearing this, many people nodded. Their eyes lit up. The people of the dragon race frowned. Even Yao Qingwu and Yao Qingling's eyes lit up. The divine tree of life is the god of Spirit Realm. The elder of the spirit race said with a smile. Everyone was surprised when they heard the legend. The people of the dragon race said with a smile, "Can we take a look at the divine tree of life?" The others became nervous. Was it possible? The elder of the spirit race said, "Sorry, the divine tree of life is in the core of Spirit Realm. It is not open to the public." Even in Spirit Realm, only a few people have the chance to see it. So it's like that. Many people sighed. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. That meant that the defense of the divine tree of life must be very strong. He looked at the dragon race. These people of the dragon race still didn't want to speak? After a while, an elder of the dragon race stood up and said with a smile, "The divine tree of life that you mentioned is so magical. I heard that the divine tree of life blossoms once every 5,000 years. It bears fruit once every 5,000 years. I wonder if Spirit Realm still has the divine fruit of life? The dragon race is willing to exchange it with a treasure." Many people sucked in a breath of cold air when they heard this. Yao Qingwu and Lin Xian were stunned. Lin Xian, on the other hand, smiled. He finally got what he wanted. The people of Spirit Realm changed their expressions. An elder said with a smile, "You must be joking. We don't have the divine fruit of life. We can't exchange it. If you want it, come back in 5,000 years. You don't have it? That's impossible. I heard that the last time it bore fruit was 1,500 years ago. Did you use up the divine fruit of life so quickly?" Clearly, the people of the Dragon Clan had done a lot of research and came prepared. The elders of Spirit Realm changed their expressions again. One of them said, "There really aren't any left." They immediately changed the topic. The people of the dragon race sneered and didn't say anything. They had already proposed that they would secretly communicate with the people of Spirit Realm. If they couldn't come to an agreement, they would have to use their own methods. Then, Lin Xian was invited alone. The people of Spirit Realm still wanted to know about that place. Lin Xian had no choice but to make up a random name. Lin Xian had been in True Spirit World before, so he said that it was an ancient ruin in True Spirit World. When the people of Spirit Realm heard this, they frowned. True Spirit World was also an extraordinary world. However, they probably couldn't go there in a short time. They wouldn't give up. If there was an opportunity, they would send some people to investigate. On the other side, the people of the dragon race secretly talked with the people of Spirit Realm. Chapter 49-46. The dragon race and the people of Spirit Realm talked for 2 days before returning gloomily. Their expressions were extremely ugly because they were still rejected. No matter what requests and conditions they made, the other side only said that the divine fruit of life was gone. Damn it, Do they really think we're easy to bully? After the people of the dragon race returned, they set up a formation and isolated everything. Among them, Elder Zhang roared crazily. The others also had cold expressions. The dragon race had dominated the world. When had they ever been rejected? Not to mention this time, their conditions were too generous. The other side had no reason to refuse. Some people said that it was normal. The divine tree of life was the foundation of spirit realm. It couldn't be spread, so it was expected that they wouldn't give it. What should they do? Were they going to return empty-handed like this? One had to know that the Dragon Prince was injured. These people of the dragon race all worshipped the Dragon Prince. They were willing to pay any price for the Dragon Prince's injury. An elder said, "We're willing to give anything except the Imperial Scripture." "Does he want our Imperial Scripture?" A young expert snorted coldly. "I think Spirit Realm is tired of living. Why don't we just take action and take his divine tree of life?" "Yes, we only wanted the divine fruit of life, but since they don't know what's good for them, they can't blame us for taking his divine tree of life." At this time, the leading elder spoke. "Don't act rashly. Spirit Realm has developed for tens of thousands of years and has too many experts. Moreover, they are top alchemists, so there are many families and forces related to them. If we act here and fail, we'll probably attract their attention. In the end, they'll seal the mountain gate. It'll be troublesome. So, let's calm them down first. I'll secretly summon experts. When the time comes, Spirit Realm will be doomed." When the other side brought them here, they had already used the ancient mirror to investigate. Before they came, they had also spread the aura of the dragon race. So, they should be able to summon other experts of the dragon race here. The people of the dragon race started to move. Some of them continued to negotiate with Spirit Realm to calm them down. They wanted Spirit Realm to think that they were still unwilling to give up. Meanwhile, some of them had already started to secretly summon the Thousand Dragon Court. After the Thousand Dragon Court received the news, they also held an emergency meeting. In the hall, countless experts and saints stood, their expressions solemn. Among them, the dragon race's ancestor with a walking stick came out. Countless people bowed. "What about the old ancestor? The people of Spirit Realm refused to give us the divine fruit of life." The eyes of the old ancestor of the dragon clan shone with a cold light. They had already discussed the terms and conditions, but they still didn't agree. "Then, don't blame us for being impolite. For the Dragon Prince, we are willing to pay any price." The other members of the dragon tribe also placed their palms on their hearts. They were willing to give up everything for the Dragon Prince. Dragon creation, dragon dusk, dragon court. The voice of the old ancestor sounded, and 3 elders of the dragon clan walked out. Their auras were incomparably terrifying. They were all peak great sages. "This time, the 3 of you will lead the group and bring the imperial weapon, the 10,000 dragons picture, with you." He had to bring the sacred tree of life back. "Yes." Among them, the Draconic Lord asked, "Old Ancestor, how will Spirit Region deal with this?" The dragon ancestor's eyes flickered. "Those who submit to me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. Either submit or be destroyed." Dragon Reflection Master and the other 2 nodded. It seemed that the Thousand Dragons Court had been silent for a long time, so no one knew of their power. This time, they would make an example out of Spirit Region and let the other world see what a true Imperial clan was. The 3 peak great sages took the lead and brought the 10,000 dragons picture. Then, they summoned other great sages. This time, they did not bring many people, only about 100 of them. They were all elites of the dragon tribe. The 100 of them brought countless resource formations. These were all to provide power to the 10,000 dragons picture. This time, it was the 10,000 dragons picture's power. The group set off. They sensed the aura of the Tao of Dragons. The Draconic Lord sneered. Spirit Region had always been mysterious. No one knew where their spatial entrance was. But this time, they had solved it. Spirit region still did not know that danger had arrived. On one hand, they rejected the people of the dragon tribe. On the other hand, they sent people to look for Lin Xian to ask about the whereabouts of the mysterious spirit herb. Lin Xian thought about it. He probably could not care about the dragon tribe. It was better for him to think of a way himself. He also said that if Spirit Region was willing to give him a sacred fruit of life, he was willing to personally bring those people there. He made up his mind. If the other party really gave it to him, he would just take them to a random place. Then, he would take out 2 mysterious spirit herbs from Sword World and give them to the other party. The people of Spirit Region frowned. They did not expect Lin Xian's goal to be the sacred fruit of life as well. On the way back, the various parties gathered and frowned. What was going on? The dragon tribe wanted the sacred fruit of life, and so did this kid. And the 2 little guys from Medicine Star also wanted the sacred fruit of life. An elder of Spirit Region sneered. He overestimated himself. The sacred fruit of life is Spirit Region's secret. It must not be spread. So what if it's the dragon tribe? Spirit Region's foundation is not bad. Indeed, in the eyes of the experts of Spirit Region, they did not have a great emperor. Everything else was about the same as the monarch races. They were far more powerful than ordinary remote antiquity families. And there was one thing that other remote antiquity families could not compare to. That was, Spirit Region once had an immortal divine herb that was obtained by a great emperor. Since then, Spirit Region had formed a good relationship with that great emperor. Although that great emperor did not leave behind a powerful family, this bloodline was still passed down. They had been living in seclusion. If Spirit Region was in danger, the people of that bloodline would not sit by and do nothing. In other words, they had the great emperor's bloodline as their backer. This was also why they dared to refuse the dragon tribe. But this time, they did not expect that the dragon prince would be poisoned by the great Tao for only a year. So the 10,000 dragons court went completely crazy. And this news was only known to the top elders of the dragon tribe. Ordinary dragons did not know about this situation. Therefore, it was even more impossible for the people of Spirit Region to know. If they knew, Spirit Region would not have dared to be so careless. They might even have directly given away the sacred fruit of life. Spirit Region. There was a palace on a mountain peak. The people of the dragon tribe lived here. They returned with cold expressions. Spirit Region, these people are so reckless. They dared to refuse us. Elder Zhang, who was leading the group, smiled. Don't worry, our people are already here. They will arrive in a few days. When that time comes, it will be the end of Spirit Region. Hearing this, the people of the dragon tribe sneered. No matter how strong Spirit Region was, could it fight against the monarch races? You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.